Good morning, Xbox. Yes, welcome everybody to episode number 40. Yes, 40 big ones in the book. Well, at least it will be after today. Excited to have another phenomenal podcast lined up for you this morning. And a big shout out and thank you to everyone here because we know it's daylight savings time, which means things went back. We jumped ahead an hour. So, essentially it's after 8 o'clock my time. It's just after 7, so it's damn early, which might explain why Cerebral Paul is MIA this morning. I'm assuming he's catching up on his beauty sleep. God knows he needs it. But I'm sure he might be here momentarily. He has given us no word of warning, so we'll see what happens. But let's get right into it. We got some great topics. Our first one's going to be an absolute doozy. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll get into it in just a moment, but let's first catch up with my incredible panel, and I will announce them as they are shown on the screen, starting with the lady who's sandwiched in between with the cool ass beanie.
The whole thing just refreshed on me.
Yeah, okay. I see that. I was like, whoa, did we lose the show? We're not even 5 minutes in. Oh shit! Everybody's what the hell?
Everyone got.
What the heck is going on?
What did you push, Noof?
I didn't touch the damn thing. Well, musical charades up in there. All right, well,
got a little shuffle going on.
Well, that's the trippiest crap that's ever happened here. All right, go ahead, Terry. How are you?
Yeah, no. Hello, everybody. Yeah, it's a great day for me. I feel like I got to sleep in, and I'm ready to go. So.
Yes, I have the thumbs up approval on our first topic in the morning, if you can't tell by the shirt that she's wearing. So she's gung-ho. All right. Next up, let's go back up to the top of the screen and introduce XL1324. Is rocking that cool-ass swag.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, it's going to be a fantastic show. I'm still a little tired. I need a Coolcat Terri rant to wake me up. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Speaking of a man who can go on some good rants when he wants to, it is the one and only Scrub Nurse, fresh off of 108 Dragons TV, the Dragons Den podcast last night. Happy birthday to Mr. Lemon. Hope you had a great evening, sir. I'm sure he might be here momentarily if he's not well in the bag, which I suspect he probably is. But anyway, Scrub Nurse in the house.
Yeah, Lemon probably gonna take this morning off, especially with all the celebrating and losing an hour. So yeah, it was a great show. If you guys get a chance, go check out the replay. But yeah, glad to be here, glad to talk some games. See everybody in the chat. How you guys doing? Let's have some fun. Let's go.
Yes, we will have some fun. And speaking of the man who always brings it fun, it is fresh off of Cell Block 22, rocking a fantastic new lid. It is Eternal Shaddai.
Good morning, panel. Good morning, chat. I'm ready for, today's subject. Let's go for it.
And how you feeling there, Shaddai? You coming around or what?
I'm feeling okay, still kind of, not dizzy or anything like that. I'm fine.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know because I know the last few weeks have been a bit bumpy for you. So glad to have you here, and let's get right into it. Let's acknowledge the amazing chat as always. The one and only Doggy Dog is in the house. What is happening, Doggy Dog? 420, our good friend from I'm losing my mind here this morning. Invader Gaming's in the house. Good to see you, Invader. Good to see you, my friend. We got Crazy Greek Dude here this morning. Mr. Joanna Dark. What is happening? Fresh off another successful community game, that Mr. Tushy Gaming. Don't worry, Tush. I plan to come back here real soon. It's been just a bit of a difficult couple of weeks, as always. We've got Casket Repair hanging out with us here. He's got the hammer at the ready to throw down. Our good friend Craig Simmons, Gaming TV. What's going on, Craig? Good to see you. Your Wicked Hot is in the house. What's happening? And who else? We got Nix. We got the real Kool-Aid guy, so it's going to be that kind of day. All right, yeah. All right, who else we got? We got Fastback. Yes, our OG NLG brother is in the house. What's happening? Good to see you here, my friend. And who else we got here? Lost Forever is happening. Had to be here with us, indeed. And I think we have pretty much caught up with everybody. And we do have the first super chat of the morning. As per usual, it's become a constant. Mr. Doggy Dog drops that $1.99. Good morning, everyone. Congrats on 40 episodes. Thank you, Doggy. And glad that you could pretty much, I think, be a part of all 40 episodes, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
when not on the panel as a guest. Yeah, pretty sure he's been in the chat for every single one of them. That's insane. Thank you, Doggy. Your support is greatly appreciated, brother. You're one of the nicest guys in the whole community. Axel can attest to that, and we love you, man. So thanks for being here. HTK 360 is in the house. What's going on, HTK? And
Doggy, I always say the chat is the real MVP, and man, you've been here for all 40. So
yeah. He deserves a special gift or something. I'm gonna have to hook him up with something cool at some point, I think. I'll have to do some custom artwork, something I haven't done in a long time, which I'm sure people will appreciate. So
yeah,
I'll just send out some pictures. I can do some stuff. Just people haven't seen it from me. So, but yeah. Cyber Gunter's in the house. What's going on, Cyber Gunter? Crazy Greek dude. What's going on? Good to see everybody here. And let's get right into the topic, shall we? Yeah, and the first one of the I guess just before I jump into the topics, first of all, I just wanted to say how happy and honored I am to be now part of the Gamers United Guild with an amazing crowd of people. Yes, I finally joined the ranks of the iconic video game podcast and many other great shows, including Original Next Level Gaming with the Gamers United Guild. They welcome me with open arms, and it's glad to be a part of it. Great group of people over there, a lot of amazing podcasts, and if you're trying to catch them all and haven't done so already, it's a lot easier for me to drop one thing for you in the chat, and I will do that. www.gamersunitedguild.com. That's simple. Gamers United Guild, and right there.com you can find all the members and pretty much get links to all of the content that has been created on a weekly basis. I think right now, Axel, we're up to about 16, isn't it? 16 members.
We'll be voting closes today for the newest members, so I think we'll be up to 17. Yeah, so I think we'll be up to 17 if they accept, of course.
Absolutely. Sounds like Mr. Mike Mullis's work continues.
Yeah, he's phenomenal, man. I'm glad I met him. Of course, I met him through Dreadpool, and Mike introduced me to the guild, and of course, they also accepted me into the guild. So I'm very grateful too. It's a great community.
Yes, it is indeed. It is indeed. So, I expressed interest a long time ago being a member. For various reasons, it didn't happen, and I certainly understand some of them. But just glad to be a part of it now. But anyway, let's get right. Yeah. Let's get right into topic number 1. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oh, what's going on, Strub?
No, I was just saying number 1.
Oh, okay. You put your finger out. Okay.
Topic number 1.
Do the 80s rewind. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a Half Shell. Turtle Power.
Turtle Power.
Turtle time. All right. So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles this past week, I'm pretty sure it hit us all like a big shocker. And I know it's not going to be, this big, AAA, whatever kind of game, but a lot of people very excited. We knew there was already another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game coming out by like an indie dev or whatever. I think it's the same people that made the Streets of Rage 4 game, and that should be out in a couple of months, I do believe. But we had no idea that publisher Konami was working on something in the background to bring us the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga Edition, which includes 13 incredible Ninja Turtles games ranging back to the NES, the Super NES, the Sega Genesis, I think the arcade, and what else did I miss here? And a Game Boy. Even some Game Boy games. Remember those? Was it Turtles in the Sewer? Was it Sewer or something or whatever? What the hell were you called? I had the first one on the Game Boy and I loved it. I thought it was great. So yeah, so I think a lot of people are very excited. I mean, a lot of us here, for many of us here, maybe all of us, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a big part of our childhood. I mean, for me, one of the coolest movies that ever came out was the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back in I think it was 89, if my memory serves me correct. Maybe 89, 90, I can't remember. One of those years. And I remember how cool that was when that first came out. It was all practical effects, actual costumes itself. Corey Feldman voicing Donatello. And it was riding a high wave, and it was everything was coming up green. It was turtles everywhere. And then all of a sudden, turtles sort of hit a bit of a speed bump. Licensing changed hands. The original developers, Laird and what's the other guy?
I'm not sure.
I was too young to care who made it. I was
Kevin
just
Eastman,
enjoying
Kevin,
it.
Kevin,
Eastman.
Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, those guys they went through a lot of legal snafu, basically got tired of the whole rigmarole, sold it off and just walked away, washed their hands of it. Nickelodeon obviously now owns the rights to the characters and the property itself, but it's gone through a bunch of publishers over the years. We've seen games basically come out and then basically get axed and fall off the shelves. The property's certainly gone through a lot of mess, but this is cool. Some of the retro favorites and be able to play them in high definition all in one spot is a pretty damn cool thing. 13 games on that pile. I can see, like I said, a lot of us here with some great childhood memories, and we're going to get right into it. So how do you guys feel about this amazing collection? What's the first game you look forward to playing on it? What is your favorite Ninja Turtles game of all time, favorite movie, and favorite character? I know that's a lot of questions all in one, but that's where we're going. You know what? Let's start off with the lady who dressed for the occasion. It's got the amazing Ninja Turtles outfit, the shirt on this morning. Wanted to wear her beanie, but she says it makes her look dorky. So
But I'll show it to everybody. Like,
Yeah, who cares how you look? Put it on. Come on.
I got my
Represent.
beanie, and it's reversible. It's awesome. No, it doesn't fit right. Like, it's a little small, and it just.
I see. And she also has the turtles in the background.
Yeah, I mean,
Artwork in the back.
I got comic books and figures too. It's just I want to have everything right here, But
go ahead, Terry.
But yeah, so like I have a lot of stuff. It's just I love the turtles. Like growing up, that was like my main like show that I watched. Like that's all I cared about on Saturday morning was turtles. And then Garfield afterwards because that was like my cool down show. But otherwise, it's like just like got excited for turtles every Saturday morning. So I'm excited. I asked a lot of questions in a sentence. So hold on. So
okay. Well, let's start just by talking about the game itself first. How excited you were to hear the announcement. I know there's 13, not one, not two, but 13 of some of the craziest turtle games of all time. Now with a replay feature in HD. Everything you could love, but yes. Remastered editions looking better than ever, hopefully performing better than ever. So take us through that, Terry.
Okay, so I didn't watch the data play or whatever, but when I saw on Twitter that they had announced, the collection, then I started going through all the news articles to try to, pinpoint what was going to be on it and where the game would be available to see if I could even play it. Because if it was going to be something that was strictly for PlayStation, then I was going to just ignore it completely because I don't. So I had to find out. I had to dive deep. And I was pleased to find out that it's going to be on Xbox and on the Switch and everything. Get it on my Xbox. I'm super excited. They got a lot of my favorites on there from like the classic era.
Mm-hmm.
They got my Manhattan Project, which is major for me that they had that on there. Stone, was it the Stone Heist one?
Mm-hmm.
What was that one?
The Hyperstone
Heist. I enjoyed that one a lot growing up, and like the tournament fighters, I had like all that on like the Genesis. So I'm looking forward to playing through those again. I mean, I still own mine. It's just I don't feel like hooking up the Genesis. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it'd be nice to be able to play through all those again. And there's also some that I haven't played. Like I didn't own a Game Boy growing up, so I can tinker about. Something that I'm curious though, because they mentioned Turtles in Time. Now, are they putting the full real version on there, or are they doing some BS like they pulled when they re-released it, where they chopped out a lot of the game?
No, it's the original Super Nintendo version.
They also have the original arcade version in there too, so you get two versions of Turtles in Time.
Yeah, it's not the remake from a few years ago with the updated graphics and stuff. No.
I just wanted to make sure because I'm like, if they put that that freaking like cut up game or it's like no. So okay, so they got the full on there. So,
why don't we just play the trailer real quick? Everybody a rundown. I should have ran this first, but here we go. Is there audio on this, people, or no?
There is, but you don't have it playing on our end.
How the hell do we fix that?
Would have had to click the share audio
Oh,
box.
Yeah, you would have to
Oh, here we
click
go.
share audio. There it is. Cowabunga. So many quarters lost. So many quarters.
Mayhem Project!
They got that hard as hell original NES game on there.
Hell yeah.
Look, the
one where
fighting
everybody
game. That
dies
one
on
I
the
never
damn
did
level.
play.
Coming 2022. Xbox.
And Konami,
right.
too. Yeah, awesome
So,
stuff.
yes.
Go ahead, Terry.
A lot of amazing classic turtle games in there for sure. Like I said, Iron Manhattan Project. So I'm so happy because I feel like I've mentioned it before that game released the exact same year as Turtles in Time, and it got completely like overshadowed. Like I don't know why they did that. Why would they release the game like 3 months apart? You know, because the moment the next game comes out, everyone drops the last one and they move on. So like, it peeves me to this day that they did that because so many people haven't played that game. Because all they ever talk about Turtles in Time, Turtles in Time, Turtles in Time. It's like screw that dang game. Manhattan Project was amazing and you missed it. So go play Manhattan Project. So this would be great for people to actually hopefully do that. Like I'm gonna be upset if I find out people buy this collection and they only play Turtles in Time and that's it. It's like, what's the? All right, but please go and play.
I wouldn't be
Manhattan
surprised
Project.
if they actually did that.
There's gonna be someone out there who's like, yeah, I want this whole collection, but I'm gonna play that one game. And it's like, get out of here with that. But okay. But yeah, please, for those of you who have never played Manhattan Project, please play it. It's a game and it was forgotten and missed by many. And I'm looking forward to playing it again. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to play it again because I don't have my NES. I kept the game cartridge that's sentimental to me, but I don't have the NES to play it. So I'm definitely wanting to play that again. And that pretty much sums up for like the game part. Like so, but like when it comes to like favorites and all that kind of thing, when I look at it, it's different. So like when it comes to playing the games, my favorite character is always Donatello because I like having the range with the staff. Most their games are all beat 'em ups, so like I feel like when you start getting clustered in and everyone it's too easy to get hit with the other turtles. So having that extra range and being able to do like your spin moves and do like crowd control, that's more me. So he was always my go-to pick whenever I played. And which my favorite turtle is Raph. He's my favorite, but he's always the worst one in every freaking game. Imagining and I can't. I hate that. I hate that. It's just like he's so hard to play. He's so hard to play because his weapons are so small, right? So they just make it just. It's not enjoyable playing.
Well, Coolcat Terri. Well, Leo, we gotta go get the pizzas because Master Splitter, he told us that's what we gotta do, huh?
Sorry, that was my take on the original voice of the of Raphael.
Just,
I was like, I don't know what you're doing right now.
Yeah, that was my take on sort of an Italian Bronx kind of like a lingo that he had in the original movie.
Yeah, he did have kind of an Italian mobster kind of voice.
Yeah, but so yeah,
come
so
on, guys, you're never gonna beat us. Love it.
But yeah, so like hands down, my favorite turtle is definitely Raphael. I absolutely loved him. I felt that he was kind of like each turtle has like their role that they play to for the team to keep the team to make the team work. But I felt like he was always he was always kind of like pushed aside. No one took him seriously. And there's a reason why he would be so angry all the time. No one freaking listened to a word this guy had to say. You know, you're going to rage out and have a tantrum because everyone blows you off. You know, no one wants to listen. You know, you got Michelangelo, you know, screwing around in the background, you know, not listening to anybody. Then, you know, Donnie ignores everybody because he's so focused on his experiments. And then you have freaking, you know, Leo acting like he's, you know, the best there is. It's his way, you know, it's his duty. So it's all on him. No, and he's not open to feedback from anybody. And it ticks me off.
He's
so
perfect.
It's like, no, to me, hands down, Leonardo is the worst leader ever. I can't stand that character. He's terrible. He's the worst turtle in my opinion. Okay, a good leader needs to be open
Blasphemy.
to feedback.
He is blasphemy right now.
He's freaking terrible, man. Like a leader needs to be open to, you know, getting, you know, feedback from those that are directly underneath them. You know, it's like
noof. No, I'm just kidding.
Look at all your old like movies where you have like wars and stuff. You know, what do? They get around the war table, and the guy in charge, he's listening to all his freaking captains and all his, you know, his next in commands to know what to do before he makes a dang plan. He doesn't be like, you know what, I don't know what's going on way over there, but you know what, I'm just gonna make a freaking call. No, you don't do that. You get feedback, and then what happens? Freaking Raph is trying to give him feedback. He's like, no. It's my way. You don't know what you're talking about.
But you must remember.
And then he gets it wrong. And Raph was right. And it's just like, dude, freaking listen to dang feedback.
It all depends.
But you must remember, Terry.
He's the worst leader, man. He only listens to two people. And it's, you know, he'll listen to Splinter and he'll listen to Donnie.
Yeah, but Raph is sometimes he's stubborn. Raph sometimes is stubborn. You know, so
he's stubborn, but I mean, think about it. If you're ignored all the time and always pushed aside, you think you're going to give a crap about what anybody has to say to you anymore?
Don't forget,
that's the reason why Leonardo put him into his place for his, you know, for being stubborn.
Yeah. Don't forget,
he's a good leader.
He's stubborn because Leo never listens to him, man. Leo does what Leo wants, and then and everybody else be damned, and then he's super dependent. He's super dependent on Donnie. Like he'd be like, okay, this bad thing just happened. Donnie, come up with a plan because I don't, and then I'm just gonna act like, and then I'm gonna take all the goddamn credit for it once your, you know, master plan works because I am Leo. It is my duty. Like,
don't forget though, they're teenagers. That's the other thing, and teenagers do some weird stuff like that.
That's why they're called teenagers.
I've seen grown adults act the same way, so I'm not even gonna go there with that.
Yeah, that's true.
So no. It's literally, he's just, no, I can't stand Leonardo. He is, in my opinion, the worst leader ever out there because he does not listen. And there's a reason why he and Raph butt heads so much because he doesn't listen. It has to be his way. Or he'll be like, or he'll listen to Donnie, or he'll be like, well, Master Splinter said this. Like, what? Dude, are you the leader or are you going to, you know, always be like, well, Master Splinter, dude. Master Splinter's not freaking here. And sometimes situations you have to make quick, you know, choices when things come up. Master Splinter's not here to see what's going on. So you know, you got formulate a damn plan and listen. You know, freaking drives me nuts. I hate that guy. I really do. I can't stand Leonardo. He gets under my skin. But
blasphemy.
Tell us how you really feel.
He's terrible. All right, he's terrible.
This is exactly when I needed to wake up.
Axel's like, I didn't think we'd be having an epic rant on a Ninja Turtles topic.
I can't stand him. I cannot stand him. Like, but, and it's like, and think about it. So like, and it makes, you know, and then what happens? What happens with as much as, you know, Leo acts, you know, like a doofus majority of the time, the moment when it's happened in multiple movies where Raph has gotten hurt or has gone missing or whatever, right? What happens? The moment Raph is gone, Leo just falls apart and becomes like, you know, like this little, he becomes like this little tiny little being of himself that he just can't function. It's like, what is going on? You act like when he's there that you don't freaking need him, and then when he's gone, now you're even more useless than you were when he was there? Get out of here.
But you have to understand why it happens. Leonardo is the only character that have the smallest short-range weapons, so he always get beat up, while the other one got better range. That's why Leonardo is one of the best. He got to pack him up.
What are you talking about? Raph's size are freaking small, and freaking
Right, Leo and Donatello
Leo and
has the
Are-
longest
they
range.
have the most
Exactly.
range. What are
Well-
you talking about, dude? And like, no, Raph
Ra-
and Mikey have the least amount of range. Like their weapons are
Not
basically
compared to
on par.
Raph. Not compared to Raph. Raph is like
I feel Raph, it depends on how they represent the size, because sometimes they make them really freaking
Exactly.
small, and
It looked like
sometimes
a
they give
fork.
them long points. So if they give him long points, then he's right up there with Mikey with range when he's swinging his stuff. But otherwise, no, he does not have the range. I don't know what you're talking about. But
Hey, Terry, you know that Leonardo and Raph are opposites of each other, right?
they're all opposites of each other.
No, but like in
Because
specific,
they're all
Leonardo and
dumb
Raph.
compared to Donnie. So I mean, Mikey's the complete opposite of Donnie. So like, no, they're all opposite.
That's how you make story arcs. You have to have conflict to
So-
keep the story
Right.
moving along.
If the brothers weren't fighting
Hey, at
each
the
other, it
same
wouldn't
time,
be any other
jokes.
way.
That's why Mikey's the best. He got good jokes.
I don't even know how Mikey Mikey's the fun guy, and I get why people love him because he's the fun guy, but he's
Yeah.
a freaking idiot, man. He's an idiot.
Read Last Ronin.
Let
Last
me ask you
Ronin.
this. Let me ask you this. Try to keep it on point here. About Terry. I mean, obviously, you sounds like you're very excited for the games. You obviously let us know that which one is your favorite in that series and the one that people should definitely go check out. What would you think might be one of the least, sort of maybe one of the most overlooked games in the series on here, if any? And I guess the second thing is,
I
do
already
you
answered
think
that question. Manhattan Project.
Oh well, yeah, I guess you did. Okay.
Yes.
Do you think there's going to be any? I mean, obviously, we see they're going to have a rewind feature, which will be super useful, especially for some of the harder games in the franchise. Do you think there's going to be any actual co-op outside of living room co-op kind of deal? Probably not, but do you think so? They never
hope
said
so.
anything, so
They haven't specified. They'll probably have the couch co-op just because it's easy to put that in compared to the online. But I feel they'll probably put online in. Maybe not on all of them, but they'll probably pick and choose ones that are more popular to put the online in.
I can answer that.
If they could put it on all, that would be amazing.
Yeah,
Nice.
I can answer that real quick because I just looked up on Game Informer. They said some of the features that include, they'll say added online play for certain games. So
Right.
Like I said, so it would be for all.
Yeah.
Turtles in Time arcade version, the Hyperstone Heist, and Tournament Fighter. So hopefully it does have a co-op.
They blew off Manhattan Project again. Okay, so whatever. So now I can't even play my favorite one with my friends. You know what? I don't want it anymore. I'm mad. I don't want it anymore.
You can always play local. You can always play local.
Play local? Who do I got here to freaking play with?
Yeah.
Play local.
Dumb
All my
husband? I mean,
friends.
come on, man. No, I'm just kidding,
He
Terry.
plays in the other room, but he only plays like 2 games in existence, and that's Warships and Destiny. So if it's not in those, he's not playing it. So
I think we figured out why Raphael is Terry's favorite, because she's really sounding like Raph.
oh my god, I related.
Oh,
true
that's
story.
exactly why. Yes.
People tend to pick their favorites based on who's the most relatable. And yes,
Facts.
Raph was the most relatable for me growing up. Okay, I was the second eldest child, so like no one listened to anything I had to say. Okay, well the freaking younger kids got everything freaking handed to them on a damn silver platter, and then the eldest, I don't even know what. She wasn't like your stereotypical eldest where it's like all the responsibilities on you. No, she just kind of did whatever. She existed. But like, it is just, I don't know, man. Like, I got so frustrated. So yeah, no. So I definitely related to Raph, and I understood why he was so pent up and aggressive because I got it. Because I felt the same way, because no one listens to you when you're not the eldest. And who's the freaking eldest? According to them, freaking Leo, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know how they, how do they figure out how old they are? Splinter freaking found them randomly. He doesn't know how old they freaking are. Whatever.
Nah, Raph just entered puberty later. He finally came out of his
He
shell.
was the one that Leonardo got picked up first by Splinter. Therefore, you're now deemed the eldest. Okay, that's how it works. I am, the lord of the rats right here. You were not the
Yeah,
first.
I heard it was all based on the size of their shell.
But but I don't know, man. Like, I can't do online with my Manhattan Project. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Like, I figured when that came to the online, they were gonna pick and choose. Turtles in Time is the given. That one gets all the credit for every dang thing in existence. Like, literally, if they're going to give an award to one game on that entire list, it's going to be stupid Turtles in Time. It's going to be, the freaking one that's going to just get the freaking vote. Everybody else be damned. So it just Turtles in Time.
But in fairness, they did do online co-op for the arcade version game. So if they didn't have an arcade version or it wasn't one of the newer ones, that yes, they did do that. So Tournament of Fighters, it's a fighting game, understand. Both the arcade games, that's understandable. Hyperstone Heist is a little later down the road, so I can understand that. It's a lot of work to go back and make all of those.
Terry, if it makes you feel
so
better.
So they went back to the arcade game, which is older.
Because you wouldn't play, because it's 4-player. Online, they know people are going to jump on that more than anything, the arcade ones.
People are going to jump on anything that has the 4-player online. They're going to be like, okay, which ones can we play? This one, this one, and this one. Okay, let's play them.
Yeah.
That's
Manhattan
true.
Project
You're
was
right.
NES, though, right? Am I correct? NES? Manhattan Project?
Yeah, NES.
NES, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. A lot of the NES ones I didn't really get into because I was a Sega kid, so they didn't have.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Shredder lifted up Manhattan and he flew it away, man. and then you got the Triceratops. Dude, it's just so man. People need to play it.
All right, when I get my hands on a copy, I'll stream it for you, Terry. How about that?
Oh my gosh, yes.
All right.
People just don't know because you haven't played it. They just don't know. They missed out, man. Missed out. Freaking Turtles in Time overshadowing and ruining it.
Okay, well, it's safe to say that nobody's gonna top Terry's rant to start off the morning here.
Wait, did you say something about movies?
Yeah, we'll come back to the movies and
to
the characters. Okay. Well, you basically already said your favorite character, but we'll come back to the movie side of things and and a few different angles on this in a minute. But let's get over to Eternal Shaddai. Are you excited for the game? Obviously, I think so, but what game are you looking forward to playing first or most on this collection? And what do you think might have been the most overlooked on this collection, perhaps?
I'm not like Terry, that she's ranting. The only thing that I could say is the only 2 Ninja Turtle games that I played was the first one and Manhattan Project. Those are the only 2. I never played the other ones. I never played the Game Boy or the arcade or the fighting. Those are the only 2, but I did beat Manhattan Project. I actually did, and I liked it. My favorite character, Leonardo, especially on Manhattan Project, is easy to manage. But am I really hype about that? No, because that's something that Capcom. What does that one got to do with the Capcom? Because Capcom likes to do also a collection of Mega Man. So I just look at it like, okay, but there are other games that is gonna pretty much overshadow that. But that is more of that's more hype, or for people that are really fan of the old, for nostalgia. That's pretty much it. For people that I knows about Ninja Turtles, if they played it before and all that. But for me, I'm not looking forward to it. And if I do, probably I'll along the road. But right now, not really. I'm not hyped. Pretty much, I'm gonna start playing. Right now, Elden Ring is the one who is on top of everything. So I'm not gonna play it. I'm really not. It's good. It was a good, announcement. It was, which, it brought me back to the old days when I played that. But other than that, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not.
Boo this man. Boo.
No. Because, there's other games, and that one, you're not gonna stay, for quite some time. Like I said, if you're really a fan, that's, you're really gonna play that. But if you hear another announcement, that one is gonna get, of a really good game, that one is gonna get overshadowed. So right now, no. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm hyped, because, like I said, nostalgia. But other than that, no.
And Eternal Shaddai will not be on the panel next week. Sorry to say.
You can't trust these young cats. Get them. You got to get them off the show. Young people.
That's right. Good stuff. Sorry, I don't know if I was just kind of catch up with the chat, but did you say who your favorite turtle was?
Yes, Leonardo.
Right, Leonardo. Okay.
Leonardo.
Yeah. And why do you like Leonardo though? What's your reason behind him?
See, when I played the Manhattan Project, I tried each and one of the turtles.
Right.
So the only ones that I liked the most was Leonardo and Donatello. That's pretty much it. When you have Raphael, you have to be like really close because his size was so small.
Right.
It didn't have the range. So I'm like, Raphael sucks. And so Michelangelo, he just mid-range. It was really good, but I got really into it, especially when you unleash their special. The one that I liked the most was Leonardo. That it was like Bison. It was Bison, or it was like I know he did some spinning with his staff. It was something like that. And Leonardo was pretty much like a tornado with using his yep. You got it, Exo. So that's pretty much it. I needed some range on that one.
Cheap moves. Those were cheap moves.
It's not my fault or anybody's fault that one have a staff and the other one has swords. So you know what you're gonna expect.
Those are cheap moves. Cheap, easy moves.
So hey, you gotta get what's best for you.
Oh no! Now we started the gatekeeping thing about which turtle is the best because you're not a legit Turtles player if you don't use this guy.
Well, if we're going off of that, then you have to play Rat because he's the hardest.
Actually, yes, because every single time that I'm trying to poke the enemy so he could lift it, you really have to be like that close. So, so you really need to be really close so you could attack. So it's either Leonardo or Donatello, but my favorite one is pretty much Leonardo.
Nice. Leonardo. All right. What game do you think might have got overlooked the most on this particular collection? If you can't remember, because I don't even know all 13 of them on here, but is there a game on here that you saw in that trailer, you go, man, I want to play that, or want to get back to perhaps?
It's kind of like I said at the beginning, I only play I think it's which one is Axel might know. I know the Ninja Turtles that I play, it was like a bird's view. I think that's Turtles in Time. Am I correct? And which one?
The isometric one?
Yeah, the one, because I know it was like a bird's view, and if you go through the sewer, it becomes like a side scroll.
The original.
Oh, that's the first one. It's not isometric, but
that's
when you're in the
original
overworld,
that's
top,
the one.
When you're in the levels, you go side scroll.
That is correct.
Hang on,
I think that one got
on the NES, right?
Yeah, that one kind of got overlooked. That's the one that I feel.
There you go.
That's the one that has that freaking seaweed level that everybody hates.
Yeah. I got you.
Even speedrunners fell out.
Yeah, I think that one got overlooked, but Manhattan Project is the best one. I'm sorry.
There you go. See right there, Manhattan Project.
You're in Terry's good books for the rest of the day anyway.
He just doesn't want to be on my.
How you call that the best one? And how many of them you said you played?
Like I said, two. But wait, but like I said, but the thing is that during these two.
The Manhattan Project is better.
Hang on, let's put it again. Let's solo it. There you go.
When it comes to these two, the Manhattan Project is definitely the better game. I think that's a good choice, Shaddai.
Yeah. So during those years when I had the NES, I didn't have that many games except those two. That's pretty much it. Because the games I that year was pretty much.
How did you not go to an arcade?
I actually did, but I had never played that one. I played like boxing or fighting game the most when it came to arcade.
Turtles are freaking fighting games, man.
No, fighting game like Street Fighter during those years
Right.
were
Yeah,
the
they
most
had
popular
that.
one.
They had that. Not on the NES
Well,
period, but
it
they
just
had that
depends.
later.
No,
It just
but I
depends
never
on where
had.
you were, because arcades were on steady,
Yeah,
sharp decline around that time. So depending on where
I'm
you
just trying to
lived,
think if
you
he's a
might
turtle
had it
fan.
or you might not have it.
during
I'm
those
just thinking
years.
if you're the turtle fan and you like the fighters like Street Fighter, why didn't you get into like the tournament fighters and stuff on like the Genesis and stuff like that when they did like
I'll
the
tell
fighting?
you why. I'll tell you why.
Because it was a weak fighter.
Because I entered video game really late. So when I had the NES, it was pretty much the beginning of Super Nintendo.
Mm.
So
That totally makes sense.
yeah, so I was really, really late. And I didn't have that many. I'm not gonna say many. I didn't have that many games because I used to go to Blockbuster and then you had to return it.
Mhm.
So during those years, I only had one game because they didn't want to buy me other games. But my friend let me lend the first one and the Project Manhattan. So
Mm.
that's why I got the chance to play them. But I was really, really late. Really, really late. But that's why.
Let's get Scrub Nurse's opinion in her on the Ninja Turtles. Again, what game are you looking forward to the most? What is the most overlooked? And who is your favorite turtle? Then we'll finish up with Axel, who's got the amazing collection going on there in the background. So go ahead, Scrub.
I'm definitely happy for this collection to come out. When I saw that, I got really excited. Like Shaddai says, or anybody, basically Turtles games, unless you were somebody who got every game, you only played Turtle games depending on where you were at in the life cycle of these games. I played drums, football, baseball, and ran track every year of my adolescence life. Plus, the only video games I could play were ones that I had to personally buy because my parents had to buy bats, football equipment, spikes, all that. So they spent thousands of dollars on me every year, let alone they were not going to add it on video games. So the first Turtle game I bought was original Turtles on NES. Here, let me share this real quick. Share my screen.
Like an OG video, you playing it when you're a kid?
Yeah.
That VHS footage?
That would be pretty epic.
Yeah. So I'm pulling up this Game Informer if y'all can see it on the screen right now. So here are all the list of the games on there. So Turtles Arcade. I remember playing this on the arcade all the time. This was my go-to according with that, but you also had your Marvel arcade game. You had all your fighters, your Street Fighters, your Mortal Kombat. So yeah, there's a lot to pick from. But Turtles Arcade, one of the all-time greatest games as far as Turtles. I don't care what you say. That was because for me, it's the nostalgia, it's the fun with my friends. All right, Turtles in Time Arcade. This was one of my things when me and my cousin on SNES. Christmas time, just going through there playing co-op was so much fun. But original Turtles, like I said, we already did the arcade game. Manhattan Project was a great game as well. But if I would just say all time, it'd probably be the arcade for my reason. Just the fun of it. But I'm glad it so everybody can see which games are available, all the ones that are there. Go check it out. It's going to be fun. They got, for certain games, arcade, Turtles in Time, Hyperstone Heist, Tournament of Fighters, have online play. You can stop the game anytime and rewind, which is fun because if you played the original Turtles on NES, going through the the dam and, like you said, the seaweed and getting electrocuted, it was hell starting that over and over and over again. So you got new gameplay modes. You can button map, which is great. So they're going to do HD texture updates. So there's a lot of stuff that that I'm happy and glad that they're actually doing. So my favorite turtle to play with was Michelangelo. And it wasn't because, oh, he says cowabunga dude and he eats pizza, because all of them at some point do that. But I liked him because he was agile, just kind of like Raph was. He didn't have the long range. And I liked it because I split it up between using the nunchucks. You just jump and use your kicking abilities. Kicking abilities were just as important to me as using your nunchucks. And plus, if you wanted range with someone who had short range, all you had to do was the little jump kick. Jump up in the air, come down with your kick at that diagonal range, and that was your reach. And then you rolled backwards and you had your range. Plus, I like to throw the characters. I like to get to the enemies. And you know, my favorite one is when you sit there, you would fight the enemies just so you could throw them at the screen. Y'all remember that? That grab throw move where they go straight at the screen. I love that feature. So that's why I like Michelangelo. Yeah, he was silly, but to me, I didn't like to use the staff because it was like, it was reach, or, you know, like you use the super move, you spin in a ball and you got that stick and it just hits everything in the whole freaking screen. I was like, okay, that's not me. So I like to use Michelangelo. Yeah, he's goofy. And if anybody has affinity of why, oh, Michelangelo, he's so dumb or stupid, read The Last Ronin comic book. It's pretty freaking good. It's not a spoiler, but all the Ninja Turtles are dead except one. And which is the Last Ronin, and the Last Ronin has all weapons. The Sai has the nunchucks, has the sword, and has the staff, and uses all of them well. Extremely well. And I mean, you learned it in the first issue, so it's no spoke. It was Michelangelo. I could use all of them. So I'm just saying.
All righty. Well, thanks for the rundown on that. It's good to see the actual collection. A lot of great games in there. So there's definitely a game for everybody. Something that everybody should like. Like I said, lots of stuff from the arcade to the NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Game Boy. Great stuff right there. Let's get into Axel 1324. Axel, how do you feel about the collection? You seem like you're pretty excited. And ultimately, who is your favorite turtle?
The collection. All right, so I'll go through the collection real quick. I personally am not going to buy the collection mainly because I already have the games. So there's not really anything on the collection that I want. It's cool that they have the arcade titles in there with online play. So that is really the only attraction to me. The Game Boy games don't attract me because, well, it's the Game Boy. Come on, guys. There's not too many great games on the Game Boy, and I don't think Turtles is one of them. Right. And all the other games I already have, except for Tournament Fighters, because it's not a real legitimate fighter. I'm not going to waste my money collecting the fighter. That sucks. So there you go. But out of the games included in the arcade, in the collection, I would say that my favorite is definitely going to be Turtles in Time. Turtles in Time in the arcade was the follow-up to the original Turtles arcade, and it just did everything better. The levels were better, the colors were better, the move sets were better. How you could force them to throw people into the screen, how you could do your moves and stuff. It was just a lot more fun with the level variety and traveling in between, chasing the shredder. It was fun, and young me really enjoyed it. And older me still enjoys it. I did buy the Turtles in Time in the Xbox 360 arcade HD thing. Kind of disappointed that you don't get unlimited lives because, you know, so you still got to be pretty good. And of course, it being the arcade, it's brutal. So
that's kind of cheating, having unlimited lives.
Hey man, I don't have quarters. I had unlimited. If I had unlimited quarters now that I'm an adult in a Turtles in Time machine, I would finish it. Okay, I'm just saying. So yeah, the online functionality kind of sucked on the arcade version too that came to the 360 because you shared lives. So you always had that one player that was just careless and would eat up all the lives. So yeah, kind of don't prefer that. I don't prefer sharing lives. I
Stop
don't like sharing my
dying,
quarters.
man.
I don't like sharing my quarters. All right,
That's true.
those are my quarters. I picked those up from the Walmart parking lot. All right.
Mhm.
So, yeah, Turtles in Time is definitely my favorite one. I just love it a lot more. Not to say that any of the other games are not good. They are all good. I just am picking the one that I have. I guess the most nostalgia too, if I had to pick a favorite one.
Right. Right.
Now, when it comes to Turtles, I definitely thought that Donatello would be my favorite one because he's a nerd. I'm a nerd. He's into technology. I'm into technology. But I kind of don't jive with Donatello. I don't, for some reason, I just don't
Mhm.
care for him. Michelangelo being the clumsiest one. I kind of don't like him either because, well, he's clumsy. And it's really funny that Master Splinter gave him the hardest weapon out of all of them. And I think he did that on purpose to bring up his focus, to make him focus because he is clumsy. And of course, Michelangelo is like the best nunchaku user in the world in the Turtles universe, right?
Mhm.
So it comes down to Raphael and Leonardo. Now, Raphael, I really like because he's the strongest, hands down. When it comes to power, Raphael is definitely the strongest. Yeah, this guy, he hits the gym, and if you follow some of the comic books, they even draw him bigger, muscular, bigger shoulders. He's got an 8-pack instead of a 6-pack, stuff like that.
Mhm.
So Raphael is definitely the coolest. But what I didn't like about Raphael, especially in the comics, is that he was basically the Wolverine. Oh man, I'm having an internal fight. I'm gonna go on my own adventure for so long, abandon my team when they need me the most. Screw them. I need to figure this out within me first. He's like I said, he's basically the Wolverine, right? And so
Emotional breakdowns.
yeah, emotional damage. I'm the middle child. No, I'm just kidding. And I mean, he was so trying to figure himself out that in one of the comic books, he even became the Shredder. Raphael was the Shredder in one of the comic books.
Mm.
I mean, you are having an identity crisis of epic proportions to become the Shredder. Right? So then you have Leonardo, and Leonardo, being a teenager, makes questionable decisions because he's unsure of his leadership. He has that burden of leadership, right? He doesn't want to lead his team, his brothers, to death or to get hurt or anything. He has that true thing where he's trying to make the right decisions, and sometimes he makes the wrong ones, and he carries that with him all the time. Remember the time you made that wrong choice. Remember that time you made the wrong choice. But Leonardo wants to be the best and be the leader to take care of his brothers when Splinter passes away. Right? He is the most studious. He's the most dedicated to Bushido. He's the most dedicated to meditation. He's the most dedicated to strategic, to finding a good strategy. And I mean, he is by far, and I do mean this, by far the best martial artist out of all of them. Right? It's not even close. Leonardo has defeated Ra's al Ghul from Batman. And when it comes down to taking down the main bad guys, like in the iterations of Leonardo, he's always the one that hits the death blow for the most part. Not always, but very often. I would say it's like 75%. He's the one who hits the death blow because all his brothers got beat up, and he's the one who, doesn't get too emotional. He stays focused on the fight, and he does what he needs to do to save his brothers and to save the day, if you will. And when Raphael was the Shredder, once they found out he was the Shredder, Leonardo did not try to kill him. He did everything to bring him back. He got beat up several times by Raphael, and he took it on purpose because he did not want to hurt his brother in a way that he couldn't recover. So, once again, it's that burden of leadership. He's not doing the easy thing. He's doing the leader thing. So to me, my favorite is Leonardo because he carries the team. Raphael is definitely needed. He has his place. He is by far the strongest, and he is the opposite of Leonardo. I mean, his size are the weapons that can break Leonardo's swords, and he's done it several times to the point where Leonardo has learn how to use daggers because of it.
Mhm.
You know, so Raphael is definitely the opposite of Leonardo, but Leonardo is my favorite by far.
Nice.
Yeah, and the
love it.
least important game in this entire collection is any of those Game Boy games. Screw them. I'm not even interested. What about you, Noof? Are you
All
a Raph or
right.
Leonardo guy?
Yes, actually, you know what? Playing the games, and I haven't played a lot on this collection. That's why I'm really excited to pick it up because, like I said, during the NES era, I was mostly a Sega kid, so I didn't have the opportunity to buy or play those games. By the time I got the NES, I don't know. I just never had the Turtles game, so it was really, I think it was pretty much. Between Turtles in Time and the Hyperstone heist that kind of got me going. Plus the Game Boy, I had the back from the Sewers games or whatever, and I really enjoyed those. But yeah, I'm excited to get back in. Obviously, yes, because the remaster collection with bonus features, and obviously, if it does have the online aspect, I think that would be really fun to go back and revisit some of those games and play them with a friend, kind of deal like that. As you know, playing the game, so I generally chose to go with Leonardo because I liked his weapon set and stuff like that. I mean, the swords. I love katanas, right? But from a character overall, I'd have to go with Michelangelo. I like Mikey because he kind of represents me. Like I said, a lot of us identify with characters that, you know, I think that somewhat are like us to a certain degree in the way that they act and the demeanor. And Mikey's kind of me, just a carefree, you know, happy-go-lucky kind of turtle, you know, with the lots of humor and stuff like that. Doesn't take things too seriously, which sometimes is for the better, sometimes for the worse. But yeah, like Mikey. So that sort of thing, you know. As far as, like I said, the games, it's a toss up to me because I loved Hyperstone Heist. I was a Genesis kid as well, so I played the Hyperstone Heist a lot. I loved it. Me and my buddies came over and played co-op in that so many times. It was great. And you know, and a lot of these games are hard to get too now. Like they're not that easy to find. That's another thing. So I think that's another great reason. I mean, actually, you still have many of the games there. That's some fantastic. I love the nostalgia and the originality of it. But a lot of us haven't got those games. And again, that's largely, you know, like I said, they're not easy. It's not easy to find old games, period, especially nowadays. You know, the pandemic and stuff. Yeah. The pandemic really caused retro gaming to surge. If you go into any of your retro shops, I've never seen the shelves so bare. Prior to the pandemic, the shelves were full of games, like for every console. Like consoles coming at the yin yang. Now I walk in, there's nothing left. It's like, what the heck? Everybody's buying everything. You know, we're seeing this resurgence. The other surprising thing here as well is it's coming out of Konami. So my question is for everybody too, is like, is this sort of take advantage of it while the iron is hot kind of a deal? Because that other company, and I don't know who's publishing it, but like I said, we know there's another Turtles game coming out and it is not published by Konami. You know, but Konami, you know, Konami's synonymous with the original games, especially like, you know, the NES stuff was published by Konami. The arcade game, I think, was Konami. A lot of those games were Konami. And then all of a sudden, like I said, they went through that really nasty licensing thing where this game changed hands multiple times. Activision had some of the games for a while. I have that one that seemed like nobody hardly ever plays. That one that was on the Xbox One, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let me just go grab it real quick here.
Oh, the Nickelodeon style one. I know which one he's talking about.
I thought it was the one that I think Ubisoft is the one who created.
Ubisoft did make a Ninja Turtle game. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that I played when it came out, and it was pretty good. Somewhat similar to the old style games, but you know, with better graphics. But it was still fun, though.
Yeah, definitely. Real fun. It's real funny. I'm playing Elden Ring, right? And of course, in Elden Ring, I picked the guy with the dual swords too.
This one right here. It's the only game that I have as a Turtles game right now. This is actually pretty good.
Can you zoom in on it? What is it?
Mutants in Manhattan.
Okay, yeah.
Anybody have that game? Because I'm always finding it hard. And guess who made this game? Platinum.
Yeah, baby.
Platinum Games. Yeah, 4-player co-op action game, which was really good. It was actually quite good, actually. I've never completed it, and I've always been looking for some people to go and play the game. And yeah, I have that one. It was on the 360, the remake of Turtles in Time. That was phenomenal as well. I just love that new graphics and the smoother gameplay. You know, and that's another one that they pulled off the store. The only reason I still have it is because, I was able to go back through the Xbox history of my downloads and bring it back up, but you can't find it on a store anywhere. So, and again, I think that was published by Ubisoft.
Mhm.
So there you go. Like, it's changed publishers and stuff like that. So I guess, like I said, like, I wonder if this is like Konami's way of striking while the iron is hot, because they know there's a Turtles thing coming out. We've had a few movies in the last couple of years. The property is sort of back and it's been kind of hot again, so to speak.
Mhm.
And we also know that nostalgia has become massively hot in the last 4 or 5 years, with so many remasters and retro collections coming back and retro consoles, the mini classics and stuff. And I like, to me, this announcement caught me way off guard. I was not expecting this. Like, when I showed that, and I saw it first on State of Play, and I was like, holy hell, like, where did this came out of the blue, because nobody had talked about it. I don't even know if anybody even knew they were going to be doing this.
Nobody leaked it.
No.
Yeah.
And now everybody's just like, damn, like, got to get it. So I'm going to get all those Turtles games. I'm going to get that new one too. So, but yeah, I'm excited to go back and play a couple of the games. Obviously, I played. I'm definitely excited to go back and check out the NES games, including the Manhattan Project. I want to check them all out now and go back and play them and play them in nice, crispy, high definition now. Hopefully, they look and play better than ever before. What can I say, man? I'm super excited about it. And my favorite character, as I said, is Michelangelo, because he's just a goofball, and I like fun characters. Raphael, he's great. I love his toughness and stuff like that, but I also think he's a bit of a stick in the mud. A little too temperamental at times. Like I said, Leonardo's kind of too predictable, and I gotta lead the pack. And you got Donatello, who kind of like, he was the one turtle that I always never seen use. I like the range of the bow staff, but just never really liked him. You know what I mean? It's just like, he's the dork. He's the real dork in this group.
It's really funny because in the original NES game, Donatello is my boss turtle. He's the one I use on bosses because of his range. So I always switch to other turtles when I'm not at a boss, because I need Donatello.
That's right. You need more projectiles, right? You think Raphael, you've been tossing those sides around, like, put them on a little chain and sing them God of War style. Right. Let's get over to the other aspect and things of the Turtles, and let's just talk really quickly about the movies. Which one did you like, if any? What was your favorite? Because we've had 3 movies from the original, like the 90s era, the suited guys. The guys actually wore real costumes, were real martial artists. And then you had the CGI version of the Turtles that came out.
Oh, yeah. That's right, yeah.
There was 2 of those movies which were relatively well.
With Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. Yeah.
Yes.
She
my favorite
Transformers
April O'Neil out of all of them.
Megan Fox, especially don't put her in G.I. Joe, and then she'll pretty much have been in all my 1980s, 90s stuff. Transformers, Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe.
She needs He-Man. She needs to be on He-Man.
He-Man. There you go. Tila. Next Tila. So yeah, what have you? Anybody in your movies? What was your favorite Turtles movie, if any? Maybe you hated them all, but I don't know. What was your favorite? What was your least favorite? And how do you feel about the latest ones? And do you think there'll be more? Anybody can open
I love the very first one. As a kid, I went nuts over that first Ninja Turtle movie. And I love it because of me, because of how excited I was in it. Like the fact that they were actually fighting. Now, I rewatched that movie now, and as an adult, I'm like, my God, these martial arts fight scenes suck. But as a kid, I'm just like, this is so awesome. Like, yeah, the Turtles are real. And they're fighting the Foot Clan, and the Shredder's real. Like, it was not that the Transformers movies weren't great or anything like that, but it was the first major property for me, because I had the Ninja Turtle toys, I had the Ninja Turtle games, I had the Ninja Turtle lunch boxes, I had the Ninja Turtle backpack, I had the Ninja Turtle t-shirts, and for it to finally be made into a live action movie, I just went nuts out of the old ones. So yeah, that's just me.
Next.
I'm with Axel. I like the first one more than because on Netflix I decided to watch the rest of them. Yeah. Even the one that went to Japan and all that, but still I gotta stick with the original one, because I was the same way like Axel. I was very happy. I was, a really fan of the Ninja Turtles, and when I saw it, not for nothing, even though they really had good costume, they they made it so real, like really real. And you know, for a lot of people, he's gonna say the first one, because that was the first experience for Ninja Turtle fans to watch that, and you know, you until this day we still remember that. So yeah, for me is the first one. For me is the first one. Even though Bebop and Rocksteady look kind of weird, but so yeah.
Yeah. I definitely go for the first one, mostly because of nostalgia, but also too, I think it captured the goofiness and just the total fun of the turtles. Yes, they had enemies, they had people they had to fight, but it wasn't so just dark and grimy and so gruesome and scary or whatever. It was, oh yeah, we have this enemy, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna goof off, we pick fun, we're brothers. Yeah, they acted like a bunch of teenagers in the movie. And plus that was the first movie as a little kid that I went to, and I heard a curse word, when Raphael was walking off because he was so pissed off at everybody, and we were sitting there, little kids, and we're like, oh. But
that first movie had so many great lines too, like
yeah,
that. Damn,
yeah. And then
when Michelangelo was over there doing his nunchuck contest with that guy, he's all like, "Oh, fellow chucker, huh?" Had so many quotable lines.
Yeah, so I like that too. The first property I watched in movies was actually He-Man. So remember when that He-Man movie came out? I saw that first, but yeah, when Turtles came out, I think that was the other good the other movies. They were good, but to me, it just didn't capture. You might say, "Oh, well, it had better CGI, better graphics." I liked it for the practicality of the fighting, of the costumes and stuff. That one just hits home to me more than anything.
Very nice. All right, next.
Terri.
I guess I'll go. All right. For me, when it comes to like I'm gonna list two because one isn't an official movie, but my official movie favorite would be the original, like the second Ninja Turtle movie back in the 90s. I really like that one more. I mean, the first one was good, but I enjoyed the second one so much more. It just I preferred the actress that they got to play April in that one over. I didn't like April in the first movie.
Right, Judith Hogue. Yeah,
she didn't. I don't know. There's something about her. I didn't like her at all. So I liked that more. It was they got to introduce so many more characters in the second one. We had like Toka and Razor, and it was just like it was just great seeing that. And then you got Super Shredder. And then it got, freaking hilarious when they had freaking Vanilla Ice, and it was just a good movie. It was a good, entertaining 90s. It's very stereotypical 90s film, just out there with the campiness and stupidness, but it was great. It was great. I just really, really like the second one the most out of all of them. It was well. But then I do want to put like an honorable mention because I watched it a lot as a kid, and I feel like it's something that a lot of people forget about. Was the Coming Out of the Shells tour. Back then they were doing like this musical Broadway thing, and I remember I had the VHS tape of their tour, and as a kid I would sit there and I would watch it, and I would like sing along with the songs, and and it was just I just really, really enjoyed it as a kid. So like to me it was a movie because I had it on a tape, but it wasn't a movie. You know what I mean? So it's just. It's one of those things where looking back at it now, I'm like, I watch it as an adult. I'm not gonna like it. It's gonna be terrible. But as a little kid, seeing my favorite characters, out there, and they're giving a lot of positive messages to kids, and you see like all these other kids in the thing, cheering and having a good time, and then they're singing all these songs, and it was great as a kid. I liked it as a kid. So I just want to mention it because it was definitely forgotten. But no, official movies, hands down, best one in my opinion was the second film from the 90s.
Right.
Nice.
Great call.
That's a good one too.
All right. Did everybody have their say, or did Shaddai know? Did you go,
Shaddai
Shaddai?
went.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Just wanna make
everybody.
sure.
I already
Make
did.
sure. All right. So last but not least, I guess it's my turn. Yes, I mean, it's kind of like the games, right? I hold a very special place in my heart for the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, right? Because when it came out, there was really nothing else like it. A lot of us question, how are they even going to adapt this comic book, and how are they going to do this stuff and pull it off relatively well? But here they were. Like I said, shout out to Apex in the chat. Mentions the Jim Henson costumes. Those costumes still rock even today. Like they look good. They look believable. That was the crazy thing with a little bit of the animatronic in the face. And it was just something about those tangible effects, like how they pulled it off. And it kind of felt like to me, like it's one of the first times that a comic book sort of property stayed very true to its source, where they didn't seem to stray away and try to be something they weren't. They kept it simple, but like, Scrub alluded to, it was campy. It had that cheesy, kind of humor. We laugh at a lot of it now. We kind of go, yeah, these movies are a little cheesier than we remember, but we were a lot younger when we first watched them. And again, they knew their audience, and they knew what they were going for, and they're still fun. They're good movies. And that's the thing, because obviously, if you look, especially the first couple of films, they weren't heavy with CGI and stuff. So it makes them hold up well today, because it's not like they aged. Actually, I don't even know if there was much CGI in them, to be quite honest. Like, I think they must have had a relatively small budget overall. And I just went back a couple of nights ago and watched it, as a matter of fact. And I'm like, man, this movie still holds up pretty damn good today. That's the crazy thing. Even like the characters, Elias Koteas, Casey Jones, that was kind of cool. The hockey stuff, and just all the angles, and Raph going to the movies and stuff with the trench coat, and like it was just a fun movie. And the second one got a little bit more outrageous, but it was also very good. Like, it was a sequel that was definitely worthy. The third one really that's when it just went, oh, what the heck happened here? Like, where did the writers go on this one? This back in time bullshit. Like, it got a little bit cheesier, still fun, but it's like a lot of properties. After a while, you start feeling like they start making properties more to sell like comics or to sell toys, as opposed to making like a good film. Because by the time the third Ninja Turtles came out, you notice there was a lot more merch than there was in the previous ones and stuff like that. So, I don't know if anybody else has them, but I have the Ninja Turtles, the NECA ones that came out a couple years ago. And I think, honestly, they're almost my prized possession now, because one, they're so well done. I don't have everything in the collection. Like, I don't have Bebop or Rocksteady or the Super Shredder. I have the original one. So I got obviously Splinter and the 4 Ninja Turtles and Shredder, and I got a Foot Clan soldier, right? But they look so good. They're like almost movie accurate. Sometimes if you pose them in a certain way, literally you can almost you can hardly even tell it wasn't a shot from the movie. So they're well done. And the crazy thing is, now they're like if you missed out on them, they're extremely expensive. Go try to buy one right now on a website, and they've skyrocketed. I've seen some selling in the hundreds.
I wish I had
especially
my
now with the games
original.
coming out, man. They're going to be even more valuable.
Yeah,
I
so
had the
have
original Ninja Turtles, that first year that they came out with the squishy head that you could pop off. And I guess because they were dangerous or something, like they stopped making them, and all of them were hard. I wish I still had those, because those things are so expensive as far as what their worth is now.
Mm-hmm.
And those little toys we tore up and got lost as little kids, if we only knew now.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have a childhood if they all sat in boxes. So
absolutely. Yeah, as we're older, they kind of do sit in the box, because if you're a collector, it just kind of makes them more vintage, I suppose you could say. Certainly more valuable if you ever go to resell them. But yeah, that's kind of it for that. As far as the newer Ninja Turtles movies, I think they were both they're pretty well done, but they just didn't have the same magic, I think, of the originals. And they tried to make their own spin on them. Like, we even see there's a new cartoon outreach now. I don't know if you guys saw like their new iteration of the Turtles, but I can't stand it. Like, they just look wacky, and I don't like the art style and stuff like that. So like I said, stuff's changed hands. Good to see Konami coming back with the collection, though, like I said, because they were the ones associated with them originally. And like I said, a lot of great games in this collection. As long as it's not superly overpriced, I'll probably pick it up on the Xbox, obviously. Although the Switch
$39.99.
well, there you go. So it's not that bad for 13 games. Heck, you'd pay more than for that for just probably one cartridge if you went into a nostalgia outlet. So there you go. Well, that's a long conversation on Ninja Turtles this morning. I think we should probably move the needle unless anybody else has some final comments.
Have some final comments real quick.
Go ahead.
I found it funny because when you were talking about 3 or like that back in time bullshit, and I'm like, literally your favorite, like everyone's favorite movie for the most part was Turtles in Time. You go back in time, and that was acceptable. Okay, whatever. Okay, but anyways, I know like when it comes to like the original 3 movies, the third one is the least favorite amongst fans, but it is still a good one in the sense that it allowed people to see a different version of Raph. You got to see Raph as this more sentimental, father figure. He bonded with Yoshi, and you got to see him as he wasn't a hothead. You got to see you got to see what Raph truly is when he's not, having a tantrum. So he's a really good dude, and so it's just you got to see that side.
All right.
He's
Otherwise,
a cool crew dude.
I mean, it was a good movie on its own. It just felt to me, like it didn't fit compared to the first 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love the
change up the
scenes where
voices.
the samurais were in the 90s just getting used to things.
Right.
And, they're over there learning how to play the arcade and all this other stuff. It's really fun. It's a good movie, as you said, but for me, the first one took the cake.
Good stuff. All right. So anyway, now that we're at this point of the show, we're pretty lucky if we get one more topic in here. There you go. Let's bring in Coolcat Terri with the Indie Spotlight of the Week. Whenever you're ready, Terri.
Ooh, okay.
Sorry, putting you on the spot here.
Grab my notes. All right.
If this isn't Shredder's Revenge, you're doing it wrong, Terri.
No, I can't show a game that no one's played. Get out of here.
Terri should bring up the often compared but not even in the same boat was the Battletoads, which tried to basically capture that.
I really enjoyed Battletoads. I did.
People did.
Honestly, I never beat it though. Like that was the one game that I never beat it. It was just too hard.
Yeah, like it's a good property. Battletoads, don't get me wrong, but they tried to obviously capitalize on that form, and it just didn't work. Just for whatever reason, the way it was promoted or different things, it just never caught on. I don't know. I guess turtles are always cooler than toads.
Yeah.
Bring back my favorite character, Usagi Yojimbo. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, he's awesome.
All right, go ahead, Terri.
All right, so I got you guys something that will appeal to more people because a lot of the ones that I tend to show you all are more of like your, how do I put it, more side scrolly, I guess. But so I'm gonna give you something more, with the 3D stuff that's gonna appeal to more people, especially the younger kids. So I got this game called Shyness, the Lightning Kingdom. This one is probably when you look at indie games, this is probably one of the better action RPGs, probably in the top. I would say it depends on the individual, but if you only exclusively played indie games, this is probably one of like the top 5 when it comes to indie action RPGs of the time. Like now there's way better ones today, but back when this came out, this was probably like one of the best ones ever made at the time. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the trailer and then I'll kind of discuss it a bit more.
All right, here we go.
One day, we have to face up to who we are. And when that day comes, I hope you will forgive me.
Can souls that have loved us be brought back to life?
We shouldn't speak of such things, Shadow.
Does that mean I'll never see my mother again?
What are you doing here? I didn't invite you into my palace. Do you really think you can escape from me? It will provide the chance to put an end to the resistance once and for all. You can do it. You have much courage inside you. It's what made you want to seek out the truth in the first place. Use that courage now.
Is that you, my son?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very.
It's funny because I've looked at this game a couple of times. Actually, meant to buy it and never did. But there's several times I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I think I might try this.
Is that like a fighting game battle system?
Yeah, so I'm gonna bring this up because it's an action RPG, but so like the RPG aspect is very PlayStation 2 kind of era style. But then when you do like your fighting, put that back up, put it back up. Put it back up. Okay, but when you do your fighting, they did more of like a Marvel versus Capcom fighting style. You'll see like you have like the health bars on the side. When you have like your party, your party members, like their health bars will line up on the bottom, just like in Marvel versus Capcom, and then you can swap your characters out. So the one thing that with this game is all your battles are 1v1. So that's so it's not like typically when you do like your RPGs, you have like multiple people and all your characters take turns or whatever, and they fight. This one, it's always 1v1. So that could be positive and negative depending on the individual. But it's interesting that they integrated like this kind of more of a beat 'em up kind of style of fighting mixed in with the action RPG. So which was pretty cool for like I haven't seen anybody else do anything like this. So it was pretty cool. So I just wanted to kind of pause it here in case anybody missed it, on the trailer, that they had this feature was pretty cool. And like, it's just, you have the different elements. So think of, kind of like Avatar Last Airbender, you harness the different elements. It's not the same aspect going on in this game. And if you look in the background, you see how there's like this yellow barrier. So that will change color, and that color is for the different elements. So when that barrier is up, you can charge your skill that is of that element. So like you have, let's say like a water ability. It has a bar, so it'll run out, right? It's gonna run out, and it doesn't like restore over time. You don't take potions to get it back like you do in other games. You can only charge it when that barrier turns the color of that thing. Then you can charge it up and use it again. So very different system, and it's actually pretty cool and ingenious when you think about it, because otherwise people would just sit there and stockpile on consumables, whatever. So this was a great way where you're fighting, you got to time it for when the barrier changes, charge your thing, and then get right back into it. And it's got some pretty big boss fights in the game that will appeal to people. And so it's really, really good. It's got some puzzles in it too, because it wouldn't be an RPG if it didn't have puzzles in it. It just goes with RPGs. You gotta have puzzles. It's the one negative I will point out is it does have some good cutscenes in it, but majority of the story is done via comic strip panels. So that could be something that some people may not like as much. They do a really good job with it to where you get a good sense of the story, but it's just some people just don't like looking at panels and they want to see actual cinematography. So take it or leave it if you like it or whatever. But it's a great game. Highly recommend it. It originally came out on PC, the Xbox One, and the PlayStation 4. So go ahead and look for yourself to get a copy of it. I believe I think it retails for $20. I don't remember. I forgot to write the price down. Forgive me. I don't have the accurate price of what it's retailing for right now. So you'll have to definitely search for it. I don't know if you can still get it on PlayStation, because I know they take their stuff off and they don't bounce stuff over on the next version. So that's an iffy one over there. But Xbox, I'm sure you'll be fine. And of course, PC, their stuff always stays there. So you'll be good on those fronts. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. You can close it now. But fantastic game. Yeah, definitely check it out. You're into like the action RPG kind of stuff.
All right. There you go, guys.
Awesome.
The Indie Spotlight. Shyness. Is it shyness or shining? Shyness, right?
It's shy, like you're you are shy of somebody. Shyness.
Right. Shyness. Okay, gotcha. All right, go check it out, guys. Like I said, you can. It's available now. It's been out for a couple of years, and looks like an interesting little title. Great art style. Once again, very colorful, very anime kind of a looking. So, cool little game right there. Another great feature. Let's get into the next topic. This might be the only one we'll have enough time for today for the last one here, and it's just to talk about. I mean. Essentially, there is some, and again, it's you can read into what you want. It might be nothing at all, and it might be something to it. It's hard to say, but we're talking about developers, especially prominent ones, leaving major roles, especially at some of the big Microsoft studios. So I'm going to share up the screen with you. The latest one comes in. They have lost another person from the initiative, who you guys may know is working on Perfect Dark Zero. Now, I think it was last year at one point in time, they lost, what was his name? Gallagher, who was kind of one of the first guys they hired for the studio to come in and lead. And he left. And I think, didn't he go to Naughty Dog at the end of the day?
No, it wasn't Gallagher. It was Drew Murray. He went to Insomniac.
Yeah,
Drew Murray, right? He originally came from Insomniac, and then he went back there after some time with the project. Yeah, they had the Gallagher's still there, I think, right?
He's the one who's in charge of the initiative.
Yeah, he's the studio head.
Right. Okay. So they brought in a massive list of talent. I don't have the list with me, but I was looking at some of the names, and they have got some major people from a variety of studios. So I'm going to share up the latest article with you here on the screen. Right here we go. So it is Perfect Dark's game director appears to have quit Xbox developer the initiative. Now, I mean, people come and go. There's obviously, we know that a lot of studios, especially bigger ones, have contractual obligations. When a certain part of a game is done, they exit. They're not full-time members of a studio. They kind of fluctuate, and they can go here and there. So just reading this out. According to his LinkedIn profile, Dan Neurenberger left the California-based studio last month. His profile page currently flags he is looking for work elsewhere in design and director roles. He had worked at the Initiative for nearly 4 years, was previously a game director on Tomb Raider, a series of Crystal Dynamics, the same studio which is now collaborating with Perfect Dark. The project director's exit marks at least the second major design departure on the project in 12 months, potentially more than a year ahead of the reboot's expected release date. February 2021, here we go. Director Drew Murray announced he had left the initiative to rejoin his former employer, Insomniac Games. So, yes, they're still in good hands. There's still a lot of people here. Plus, we know that the initiative just brought in people from Crystal Dynamics. So it's an interesting perspective because this is what makes me wonder now. We've seen two sort of major leads step aside from the project, and the fact that they're bringing in Crystal Dynamics, yes, it could be an experience thing, but is it also because perhaps there is some weird dissension in the ranks here? Perhaps there's something larger at part, or maybe I'm just reading into things here or want to read into things. I don't know. I'm not trying to make anything. I don't know what's going on. And a lot of times these developers rarely ever give you like this clear answer as to what's happening. It could be personal. It could be a lot of stuff with COVID too. I mean, the last 2 years of everybody's life, I'm sure had to be an absolute mess. When it comes to game development and direction, not being able to fully, collaborate your team. And there is a lot of pressure here. Microsoft is spending an enormous amount of money for Perfect Dark, and there's a lot riding on the perception of this project, the success of this project. Maybe people have different ideas as to how Joanna Dark should be portrayed in her latest sort of reboot of a franchise here. Is this, I think aren't they going first person on this one? Am I mistaken on that?
I think so, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet.
The original games are first person, but I'm not sure if they're going third person here or first. I can't
remember.
The
original game is first person.
Yep.
I would think they would do first, but then they I don't know. They might go back and forth because I know like the prequel did that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think they're gonna go first because in the trailer, when you're flying through it with that drone, it's all in first person.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, I'm just assuming it is. Nobody has said definite or gameplay, but it probably will be.
Okay. So at the end of the day, guys, is this just normal business practice or cause for concern? If these guys were just QA people, or perhaps like, oh, it's just like, well, every part of it's a major part in the wheel. But I mean, when you hear like game director, senior producer, those sorts of titles, and they're leaving, like, okay, if you were leaving, say in the last, I don't know, perhaps it's better to leave early in a project as opposed to like right at the end. You know, when your project is coming into fruition and you're stepping aside, that either means the work's probably done or there's something seriously wrong and you just don't want really nothing to be part of it anymore. So what do you think is the deal here? And should Xbox fans be somewhat worried? Who wants to take this one away?
I wouldn't be worried just yet. One thing, if you look at the initial roster as far as how many people they have hired people who are game directors for this one, the lead producer for this game, lead story writer for this game. So most of the people that they hired on front, they're top heavy loaded with like who's who people. Like so they're easy. Like the guy who went back to Insomniac, I'm pretty sure he went back there because PlayStation bought Insomniac and gave them and their crew a lot of money, and they probably wanted to solidify, so they probably gave him whatever he wanted just to come back. If I was a business person, that's what I would do. But as far as with Insomniac, I wouldn't worry too much about that by one person leaving or this person leaving, because they have people who are just as talented that could fill those roles, have that many years of I mean, you also got to think, what did they say? When you're coming to initiative, you also have to have 7 to 10 years of already experience before you can even before you can even apply. So yeah, I think that is something big. Another thing I will mention, which somebody might talk a little bit more too, it depends on who's writing articles and why they're writing these articles. Because a lot of times you will hear, oh, somebody's leaving Halo. What's going on? Is 343 going to have to shut down its doors? But you didn't hear all of that when Initiative was getting God of War lead design, such and such story creator for the Nathan Drake collection or something like that. You weren't hearing that going, oh, is Sony in trouble? Is God of War in trouble? Their lead art director or a game mechanics person went to the initiative. You weren't hearing that. So it just depends on.
I don't know. There was a lot of concerns when Amy Hennig left Naughty Dog because she'd been there for such a long time and she was a major part of the role. So I know there was concern, but it turned out to be good.
Yeah, but that's like one person. Like I said, if you look at the roster for Initiative, there are a lot of lead this, head of this that left from everywhere in this industry. And there was no articles going, what is the Initiative doing? Is this bad for gaming? They have taken all the heads from all these studios. No, you weren't hearing that. But if somebody leaves the Initiative, all of a sudden, ooh. So I hear it. I don't, like I said, with them being there and the talent that they have and the people that they have massed, I don't think this is a worry. If it was more of a mass exodus,
right,
I would be worried more. If there were more people who weren't leads and heads that were just devs and they were just exiting, then I would worry more. This right now, I think that's a non-factor because one, the person could leave because they're unhappy of what's going to Initiative. Two, they could have been fired because they weren't doing what was needed of them.
Right.
Or three, it could have just been, family reasons or something. There's not stating what's going on. They're just left. So it could be a myriad of things, and it has nothing to do with whether the game's going to be good or not.
Do you think there's a possibility as well? Perhaps there could be some creative freedom or clashing, so to speak, difference of opinions or personalities? Because when you're bringing in that much talent, and we see this in professional sports sometimes when you bring in
Right.
other superstars, they don't mold well into the system, or you see that with, you sometimes you hear about clashes on movie sets when you bring in various actors together, or in music. Obviously,
Hmm.
there's some people, especially once they build a repertoire, they come in and they think like they know what's best, and obviously at the end of the day the main calls usually come down to the directors, because it's essentially they're at the helm of the project, and if you don't like where they're taking you, there could be that.
Yeah. Plus, you got to think we are in the era of the quote unquote the Great Resignation, where people are looking at the jobs that they're in, and if they're seeing a better deal or something that suits them better, that they decide to go ahead and leave. And I'm part of that. I left one job and went to another job that deals with hospitals because it was better for my family. It was better for my time. And it might not necessarily be, oh, I
Right.
dislike where I am now. It's just one of those. Sometimes it could be, this is an offer I cannot turn down. It might be, it might be an offer for me to move up. And then at the initiative, they weren't able, this is where you're at right now. And somebody says, we're going to give you more money to move up. So that is happening around the world and in this country with jobs and positions. So if they're going to better themselves, hey, I'm all for it. I don't think this is a big issue. We haven't heard any problems with the game, or there's, sneak peeks and this is falling apart. You haven't heard any of those issues. You hadn't heard any background conflicts, which there could be. So this is just somebody leaving. And I think, like I said, how many times are you going to hear other companies where, oh, wow, one person left. Is this the end? Or this is a slow news day. Somebody has left the initiative. That's all it is
You
to
could
me.
be
It's a
right there too. Yeah,
slow
you're
news
totally right.
news day.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Who wants to jump in next? Axel, Shaddai, Terry, who wants to have a hand at this? What do you think's going down?
Yeah, I'll jump in.
Go ahead,
Real quick.
Axel.
Hey, by the way, Scrub, you look fantastic. Just go ahead and mouth my words, okay? Here we go. Yeah. So I'm not gonna say that them losing these high level people doesn't affect the game. I'm sure that they are some of the most skilled developers doing what they do. But does it derail a game? Does it delay a game? I don't really think so. If a company is built in such a way that it can't handle a loss, then the company's built wrong altogether. And I think Microsoft has been around for so long that they can handle people retiring, people like Bill Gates, people suddenly leaving, like who was the old CEO, Steve Ballmer. I mean, those are huge people. And Microsoft, guess what? They're still running on all cylinders. They're doing even better than ever. It really didn't slow them down even a little bit, right? So companies like Microsoft are built around these expectations that these people are going to come and go. And I wouldn't now, while I know that building software, building Windows, and all that other good stuff isn't the same as building a video game, it's still software. There. Do you watch wrestling at all? Anybody? When CM Punk was giving his epic pipe bomb, where he goes, when I lived the WWE, I'm just a spoke on the wheel. This wheel is just going to keep on turning, right? Until they replace him. And it's the same concept in all businesses that are built well. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. You don't put all your eggs in one person. So these people leaving, wherever they go for whatever reasons they do, I'm sure they're happier where they are. At least I hope so. And I think they're going to be the game is going to be just fine. If this guy is so, I don't foresee any developer coding in a development environment being so, I don't know, fantastic at coding that somebody can't look at his code and can't decipher what he was doing, right? Because obviously he didn't take the code with him. At least I hope not, or they don't. And so yeah, that's what I think. Now, creative directors and stuff, they're the leaders of the team in it. And when a new director will come in or replace them, they're going to lead the team in their own way, and hopefully it all jives together. That's really the only concern you have is, will the replacement be able to lead just as good? It's more of a leadership thing, but not really a coding thing. So I don't think it's going to derail any of these companies to have developers move back and forth often, as this generation loves to do, as our generation loves to do.
Yeah. And I suppose, Axel, like for Perfect Dark, we haven't seen a lot of this game. There is speculation we'll see a bit more around the Xbox showing, which is typically around the E3 week. There obviously is no official E3 this year, so we'll get that, probably another Xbox show like we had last year.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I can tell, there has been no release date set for Perfect Dark. So they do have that liberty as well of not, having that target on their back and being pigeonholed into to bringing it out. And having Crystal Dynamics should help theoretically speed things up with their massive talent and stuff. I don't know what their level of involvement is, but I'm sure it's definitely got to be a bonus to have those guys to fall back on.
Yeah, I think the Perfect Dark announcement was more to just announce that, hey, this is what the initiative is working on. But I do believe that it was so early in development. They're like, give me a trailer, any trailer, because the initiative had been formed. They had been staffing up at that point for a year and a half. And, people were asking, what are they working on? What are they working on? What are they working on? And so they finally just announced it. But I still think Perfect Dark at the time of the announcement, which was XO 2021.
I think it was 20.
Was it XO or E3?
I think it was 20, and then 21 they showed the little teaser trailer.
Yeah, the 21 they showed the teaser trailer.
So no, it wasn't in 20 because we didn't know. They kept hinting, but nobody ever said anything. So I think this game
at the time of 21,
eh?
Perfect Dark was still about 4 years away. We probably won't see it until 2025.
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
Yeah. But yeah,
maybe 2023 if we're
best of luck
lucky,
to
but
these
I doubt
developers
it.
that move around, that are out there chasing what's best for them, and as they should. As much as a great place, I'm sure these development studios are out there. As I said, they are built to handle these people coming and going. Just like you won't miss them, they won't miss you. But I'm sure that they've made friends, that they have good connections, and what do they call it these days? Networking. They're expanding the networks and stuff. So, all this is important for them, for their own career, and they need to do it. I think these developers need to move from place to place to get to the places they need. Maybe the initiative isn't big enough yet for these people to get the position that they desire, and they need to go somewhere else to get it. So,
all right,
I know that's a big reason why people in my profession move.
Well said, Axel. Well said. Any final thoughts here from Shaddai and Terri on this matter?
The only thing that I had on mind when I saw it was that even in his name, it says former Crystal Dynamics. And by them bringing Crystal Dynamics, it could be something that person probably was holding on and wasn't expecting Darryl Gallagher bringing them. Sometimes an employee, it could be multiple things. It could be, like everybody says, it's just business. It could be more money. That's why they leave that studio to jump into the next one. But sometimes they leave because probably they left with a bad taste in their mouth. And by bringing them, probably he felt some type of way that, let's say, depending on the situation, they could probably clash. They bump heads, and he got aggravated and probably said left. Or, like everybody says, sometimes the contract is expired and he needs to move forward to a better opportunity. But I'm with Scrub Nurse and Axel. the list of people that work in that studio is so extensive. We're talking about from Red Dead Redemption, Batman, Uncharted. So there is a lot of talent, like they said. But probably on this one, it could be something holding him back. I don't want to be so negative, but majority of the time it could be that. And also Daryl Gallagher have connection with them because he used to work, for them. So everything is, sometimes you can analyze and click what's going on. And I hope not, but one of the rumors, I wouldn't be surprised if they nailed it and shortly after Crystal Dynamic be part of the initiative. So I wouldn't be surprised. It could be so many things, but I don't know. It could be, like I said, it could be his contract just expired and left. But yeah, I think that's my take for the dev leaving.
Doesn't anybody also find it weird that Crystal Dynamics, which obviously is still underneath the Square Enix umbrella, is kind of now working closely on this project? Like, there's been a lot of speculation around that side of the coin too.
Well, remember
I think
what
that
happened
has to do with Daryl Gallagher, man. I mean, that was his old studio. I think he just used that network, as I said, to get that deal.
That is correct. And with Axel, he got, remember, and what a coincidence that Daryl Gallagher used to work for Crystal Dynamic and also for Activision, and all of a sudden they need help from Crystal Dynamic, but also have Activision. What a coincidence.
That's not a coincidence.
Well, I said coincidence.
That's a happenstance. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, hey, it could be like a lot of people could say because of that Bobby Kotick thing. Like, come on. He's the closest one. He got connections. He really does. So I bet that he had a lot of connections before they purchased them. So
that's why you get somebody like Gallagher, because of the connections.
Exactly.
I don't think it's a coincidence that Crystal Dynamics came in there with Daryl Gallagher being the lead, and there's smoke everywhere about Crystal Dynamics and leaving possibly or not. I think there might be something there. Whether it comes into fruition or not, I don't know, but I definitely think there's more than meets the eye.
Yep, correct. That's correct. And and they have plenty of people, especially when they're located, so they could get anybody they want. So it's not a big deal if he leaves. It's not a big deal.
All right, last but not least, let's bring up Coolcat Terri. How do you feel about this? Again, any cause for concern at all, or do you think this is just one of those business as usual kind of deals?
Yeah, like I pretty much agree with everybody. It's, there's plenty of veterans on the team. I mean, it's one of those things where every company has turnover, but for whatever reason, people want to always think negatively when a game studio turnover, when it's common. It just, I don't get upset and turned up about it. I mean, any kind of change can be, better or worse, and how it turns out. But it's like, I don't know. Like, everything has turnover. Movies change directors. Sports teams change coaches. Like, there's always big changes, but it doesn't have to be a negative thing. Sometimes, when they have like a new coach put on a football team, that coach ends up, getting more wins than the previous coach did.
Right.
So
that's a great point.
So like, I don't know, for whatever reason, in the gaming community always wants to basically have like this doom mentality, like, oh no, I'll lead so and so left. It's the game is gonna crash and burn. It's like, calm down. There's so many different cogs on the wheel when it comes to developing a game that one person isn't going to be like the life or death of that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I don't know. Like, I don't understand why people, they get
No.
so turned up. It's just for video games, because when you look at other things, like I said, I mean, people will comment on it, but they don't get. It's like back when Facebook was like the mainstay. Like, what would happen when to me, someone leaving a game studio and people and then all of the journalists reacting to it is no different than when somebody on Facebook would change their relationship status to "it's complicated," and all of a sudden everyone's in your business, want to know what's going on. It's like, how about it's my business and this is better for me, and life goes on, So like, just calm down. Like, I don't know. It's just like, who cares? Like, let people do what they do. The game will be made. It doesn't have to be automatically seen as a negative. Let the game come out and let the work from them speak for itself. And if it ends up being doo-doo, it was because they all, failed at one point, not just because of one person left.
Right. You win as a team, you lose as a team. Great point, though, because I said every time somebody leaves, it's always looked at as this big negative. But for sometimes it could be a positive. It could be a positive for the person that left. Maybe it's just a better move for them. Like, obviously, yes, like we all change jobs, and sometimes it's not because we hated our old job, but perhaps it's just there's something more convenient or better offer on the table, so more money, better hours, maybe closer to home, being able to see family more. There could be a lot of stipulations that, not because they don't like the project or anything else. And sometimes it could work out for the better. Perhaps, sometimes there is stunted growth or creativity, and perhaps companies are just kind of like, we have to move in a different direction, and we have to bring in a different perspective. Perhaps sometimes it's not always necessarily a bad thing. We've seen plenty of games lose talented people and still turn out to be absolutely phenomenal. I mean, if you look at the God of War franchise, they've had almost a different director for every single game. And did that turn out for the worst? No. I mean, at first it was David Jaffe. Then, it was, you had Corey Barlog. Then it was Stig Asmussen. Then I think it went back to Corey Barlog at one point. So like he did the newer. So I totally get what you're saying, Terry. It's a great point.
And just like major corporations, like Nintendo and like other things outside of gaming, they'll even change CEOs. The company doesn't shut down. Okay, it keeps moving. You just get the next person up to speed and you keep moving. It's not the end of the world.
Absolutely.
I don't remember people like, oh my God, Nintendo's in turmoil. Reggie's gone. Now we got Bowser. It's over. No.
Bowser.
So we hardly ever see we hardly ever see anything like that from Nintendo, like people leaving or coming out. It's just like kind of like, oh, you see from Nintendo's, oh, they found another way to get our money again. Yeah.
Yeah, and people, I'm sure there's just as many people, leaving Nintendo, owned studios as anybody else, but no one's reporting on it.
Absolutely. So Terry, is your status that it's complicated?
Complicated, man.
Yes, don't get her started about Leonardo. That's complicated.
Complicated.
Okay. Scrub, you still in a rush to kind of get out of here? Still on the clock?
Yeah, it's about time for me to head out.
If you wish to, you can do your outro now. We won't be keeping this podcast much longer, but go ahead. Let people know where they can catch up with you, brother.
Yeah, thanks for everybody coming out, seeing everybody in the chat. Yeah, you can find me on Xbox, Scrub Space Nurse. You can see me on Twitter, Scrub Nurse 3. And then, we're here every Sunday morning. And then check out my guys and gals over there on Wednesday nights, Gaming Beyond the Box with Wilmy Hood, Dreadpool in the chat, and all of them. So let's just have some fun. Let's play some games. Enjoy the rest of our Sunday weekend. There's so much gaming that can be done before the work week starts back over. So I'll see you all later. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.
All right. See you, Scrubs. Thanks for being here, man.
Appreciate it. See y'all later.
Have a great Sunday.
Bye.
See you.
Right. So there you go, guys. We've come to the end of our couple of major topics. I don't think there is. Well, I guess before we go, let's just get everybody's. Has anybody checked out the latest Dead Space trailer?
Get it quickly.
Yeah, I have.
Does it get you excited?
The only complaint that they have is that they're trying to say that Isaac Clarke looked like the Hunchback of Notre Dame because of the hump. So he kind of. So I know they posted like a 5-second video, but it was more for audio, and they just wanted it to. They wanted it feedback from fans to see if the audio is great or not. But from what I have seen, it looks really good. Even though it does need a lot of work, but it looks really good and even darker than the first one.
You didn't catch like the nearly 2 minutes of him walking through the ship?
No, yes, I have seen that. I have seen that. Even the one that he was trying to dismantle one of the necromorphs.
Mm-hmm.
So I seen that. It looks great. It really looks great. Even if you play it now on backwards compatible, it still looks great. So I'm excited for that. More than Ninja Turtles, sorry. But yes.
Get out of here!
See, I saw that one. Yes.
Boo
I
this
saw
man
that.
again. Boo him again. Boo.
We'll play this in the
So
background.
I listened to it just now, Noof.
Yeah.
It's got some good spatial audio on it.
Mm-hmm.
So Dead Space being an atmospheric style of game,
Mm-hmm.
from what I see, of course I haven't played Dead Space. It's definitely lending to the creepiness and the horrorness of the the loneliness of the space station, because you can hear everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now this
So-
is the question.
Yeah.
This happened in the past, and it's gonna happen pretty soon whenever it feels to release.
What do
In
you
the
mean?
past, no, sorry, just in the past, and I'm talking about Resident Evil 5 and 6 when they changed course from horror to more actiony, and Dead Space came out, and people were thinking that Dead Space, especially on the horror side, it was gonna take the helm over Resident Evil. Now that Resident Evil made some remakes and they were good, now they're trying to do Dead Space. Will they ever, do you think this is a repeat of before? Now it's a competition of who makes the most horror, like it happened in the past.
Right.
I think it should always be a competition of who makes the better horror. If Company A is doing this, well, we not only do we got to do what they do, we got to do it better. And then while we're at it, do this too.
Okay. I got to say, this looks cool, but I have one question. Why does it look like I don't like his walking animations. Why does it look like he's pinching a loaf?
Actually, that's his walking style. That's his walking style. Unless if you press the left bumper, that's when he starts running. Similar to how it was with Leon.
Now that you pointed it out, I totally see it, Noof.
Doesn't he look like he's
for me?
Doesn't he look like he's squeezing his ass cheeks like I gotta get to the next washroom?
That lean forward. Not only is he leaning forward, but he's hunched forward too while he's walking.
No, you should have seen the one that I saw. I mean, his back was so high that it was like, what is that? It looked like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
He looks like he took he decided to use the toilet and forgot that there was no toilet paper, and he's over there trying to walk to get the toilet paper.
Now you can't unsee it. You're just gonna be like, oh no.
Yeah, maybe for all we know, maybe underneath that spacesuit, he's crapping his pants. I mean, it's scary.
I'd be shitting my pants if that stuff was falling.
If Master Chief have done it for so long, I'm not surprised for Isaac Clarke to do the same.
Master Chief does not walk like that.
No.
I know he doesn't.
Don't
but when it comes to his necessity, they're both the same.
There you go.
Cool. Terry,
what do you think of the audio?
I think you originally liked the original Dead Space, did you not?
I hated the original. I liked the third one.
Okay,
I liked the third Dead Space. I had a lot of fun playing that one because it had co-op and it was a good time. But the first game I found to be extremely boring and overly predictable, and it wasn't scary at all in the slightest. And it drives me nuts to no end that people say it's scary and it's a horror game. Like, no, it's a dark thriller at most. It is not scary at all. No.
That audio gets you hyped.
The audio, though, what they showed there is fantastic. It definitely sounds a lot better, which will be a good thing for the game because, like I said, I didn't find the first one scary. So if they can at least heighten the the ambiance and all the different sound effects to make it more eerie. It has the potential of becoming an actual horror game, like they want to claim they are, and that would be great. But no, it's one of those games that I'm not really a fan of. I didn't really get into it. Like I said, the first one I hated. I haven't tried the second one. The third one I had a lot of fun with, but that one had co-op.
The second one is
but
phenomenal.
it's just, but yeah. So like, I'm not hyped either way because I'm not a fan. But it's just my pet peeve is like, oh, Dead Space is one of the best horror games. Like, it's not a horror game. It's not scary. It's not scary. I played through the first one. I am one of the easiest people in the world to jump scare when it comes to games. I do not like horror games at all. I cannot play horror games. If I can sit down and play Dead Space, not get scared at all, and I'm sitting there bored out of my mind, it's not a scary game. Okay? I'm the easiest person to scare, and if you can't scare me, it's not scary. Okay? The game I didn't like it. The controls were horrible. It just, I don't know. I don't understand the love for the first game. I just don't get it. I thought the first game was just poorly put together.
It's a classic.
It's terrible. It had the worst controls. The sound effects were decent. No jump scares. The enemies were stupid as all can get out. You could just walk in circles and shoot them. The game was terrible. I don't understand the love. I do not get it. It was not a good game. It was not.
Okay. Harsh words from Terri on Dead Space, which is beloved by many, as she mentioned.
My goodness, from Ninja Turtles to Dead Space. That's crazy. Blasphemy. Blasphemy, yeah.
The enemies were so predictable because you always heard them before they would come. So it's like, okay, I hear you scratching. I'm just going to sit here. You're going to pop out of that shack. Oh, here you come. Pow, pow. Let's move on. It's like the stupidest, boringest game ever. It's I don't get the love for it.
Always heard them before they would come. Eh? Sounds like a man. Oh boy!
Oh, man.
You go into a room. Literally, you knew what was going to happen. You walk in the room. As soon as you walk in the room, you see there's a vent here. There's a vent there. You're like, okay, these are the places where they're going to bust in. And then what did they do? They bust in. It's like, okay. And then you just repeated it over and over and over again. Like, what's scary about knowing when they're freaking going to come from?
Hey, look, there's a vent. There will be one. Aim at it.
And they were there were so many times I just ran past them. Like you could just run past them. They wouldn't hit you, and they were so slow. Like you would just run past them. I would open a door, close the door, keep going, and I didn't even have to fight them a lot of the time. And the only time I had to fight them that would backfire is if I have to backtrack, because then they're sitting by the door, and then I have to deal with it. But then they're by the door, so you can just deal with them all right there, clustered, and funnel them in. It's the game.
Is it because when you started playing that game, is it because you put it on easy mode?
I did not put it on easy mode. The game was trash, man. It was a poorly designed game that people want to treat like a cult classic when it was a crappy built game that had horrible controls, horrible game design, horrible enemies. The AI was trash. Like the only thing good about it was maybe the music. Like the overall, that game had everything was flawed.
Maybe this time they will change. They'll make you change your mind. Right now it should be probably a little bit different.
That's my hope. I hope with this remake that they can actually make it all the things that people claim it is, because the other one isn't the things they claim it is. So if they can actually make it what they claim it is, then I would be happy and I would be impressed. And then
remember, it's motive, because we're talking about EA over here, and they like to screw around.
It's so funny because I don't play scary games or thriller games, if you will, because they're resource limited. Right, you only have X amount of bullets, or you can only use this in this situation, or oh man, you got to get across this, but you got to go find a stupid wrench first to turn off this pipe, or something to that effect, right? So I didn't play Dead Space because it's just not my jam. And after hearing Terri rant off here, I'm glad I didn't play it.
It's funny because the Evil Dead 2, there's an option in the actual option settings where you can just add I think it was infinite ammo. Yeah. That changed the game for me. I totally loved it with the infinite ammo. Because I just had fun instead of sitting there constantly, the Resident Evil does this all the time. You got 5 friggin' bullets, but yet that was my big thing with Resident. Not to get off topic, but Resident Evil games. The old theory: shoot a zombie in the head, they die. But the zombies in Resident Evil, you got to shoot them 20 friggin' times in the head. It's what the hell?
Ammo limited.
Yeah,
Right?
remember, some of them would stay there and they just changed to another level.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then you fall on the floor, and you're like, "God, that guy's dead." Next thing you know, he's like grabbing on you. Like, what the heck, man? Like, what kind of craniums these guys got? Titanium plates or what?
It's,
Yeah,
it's
they
like
become,
this
what do they
place.
call those ones? The second one's the liquors or something like that.
No, those are crimson heads, the ones that change from
Oh.
All the
zombies
ones
to
that
a
crawl
crazy
on the
one.
ceiling look like dogs with the big. They
Yeah,
can't
those are
see, but
lickers.
they hear you. Yeah,
Those
the
are
lickers.
lickers.
Liquors, yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
he like that.
in general, horror games are just not my jam. So if we ever do horror topics, I'm just like, you know. Hey,
I'm
Alex,
right
what do you
there
think
with
about
you.
this game? I don't think anything about it. I'm not gonna play it.
It's like Elden Ring. Sometimes you jump because you don't know about the enemy's blow. So you're gonna
if
start.
you, no, I'm not gonna get off into another Elden Ring rant here right now. But
It's gonna
Elden
show
Ring
will
is
be 4
fantastic.
hours
Hey.
Everybody
long.
play it. Huh?
Show will be 4 hours long. We get you going on an Elden
Pretty
Ring.
much.
Man, I was thinking about doing like a review and progress series on my channel. Like, all right, guys, I played 20 hours this week. This is what happened in the last 20 hours on Elden Ring.
I was gonna say, between you and Lost Forever in the chat, I think I've seen just about every boss in the game now.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, it's not enough for me to just beat the boss. I have to like embarrass them, you know. So I'm gonna be probably play Elden Ring several times just to. All right, now I know what you're doing, and just
Right.
go ham on these bosses.
Nice.
But yeah, no. The only scary game that I've ever played and liked was an old scary game on the Sega Saturn called Enemy Zero. You had a short range weapon. You couldn't see the enemy; they were invincible, and you had a radar that put out different tones depending on which way you were facing.
Mm-hmm.
And as the enemy got closer, it would beep, 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 beep. And you had to charge your gun, and it could only hold a charge for so long. So you had to like time your charge to the beeps. And if it went off too early, well, you weren't going to charge it enough before he got you. If you obviously didn't let go, didn't shoot, he would get you. So it was like this intensity level that I just enjoyed. And it was a short game, only like, I don't know, maybe 5 hours long. But it was an intense 5 hours. As a little 16-year-old kid, my heart was like, you know. So yeah, that's the best horror game in my opinion that I've ever played.
Mm-hmm. Nice. All right. Well, any further thoughts? I mean, me personally, I could really care less. I'm kind of like, I'm not gonna say I don't really like Dead Space, but I can't say that I'm like super excited. It's just one of those things. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Depends if it's on Game Pass or how cheap it is. It's certainly not like top of my mind or top priority. I think people that really love the game, and there is quite a few of them, great. I mean, I know the original developers, they have their own coming out in the same vein as this game. I just can't remember the name of it for the like of me, but that one looks pretty nuts. So, like I said, yeah, everybody's opinion is their own. No one's right, no one's wrong. If you love it, that's great on you. I'm sure you're going to be excited. I just wanted to bring it up because, the game does look good. I mean, obviously the visual fidelity now, this is literally a remake, not just an up-res version, so hopefully they've improved a lot of things that perhaps people had gripes with. And it should be a lot of fun. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, and if Nukem, you have to make it. And put that axle. You have to make a choice: replacement controller or gas for your car. Yeah, no shit, eh? No shit. Yeah,
Dude,
that's
crazy.
scary. That's the scariest. That's worse. Scarier now than a video game is pulling up to the pump and making sure you got enough money in the account to fill the fucking thing. Oh, pardon me. My personal
It's
language.
crazy. If
Sorry,
I ever win the lottery, I'm not gonna brag about it, but I'm gonna live little subtle hints like, guess what, guys? I filled up my tank to the top today.
I probably will say like, yes, but I have an electric car, so it doesn't require gas.
Yeah. Over
thanks,
here,
Tesla.
where I live, we use gas power plants here, so my electric bill went through the roof as well.
Not surprised.
Yeah, and it's weird because, not to get off topic here, but somebody made a great point. They said back, I think it was in 2010, oil prices were, they were $147 a barrel, but gas in Canada was $1 per liter. Okay. That was almost at the height. Now here we are, 2022, gas or the barrel oil is about $100, and we're paying up here in Canada right now It is in my city right now, and it's one of the lower places in Canada still. It's $1.69.9 per liter. There are about 4 liters in a gallon. So there you go. So that's over $8 a gallon.
Yeah, but for you, Noof,
Yeah.
the gas is neutral for you. Either you use the microphone or you do something else. So
Oh yeah, I was
it
gonna
doesn't
say, yeah.
it doesn't
You're gonna have
cost
to
you
start farting
anything.
into your car new from here on out.
Well, when the world starts running on methane, you guys can all come to my house and grab a hose.
You just gotta buy. Was it Ford or GM or whoever it was that was selling those flex fuel vehicles? You just gotta buy one of those new.
Yeah.
Thank God I got a motorcycle, but hey, it takes premium, so it's still gonna cost me $20 odd to fill up the tank.
Right here, we're at
Right.
$5 a gallon, and we're not very far from a refinery, so I know we're one of the lower places in the United States. So it's it's bad.
Yeah, I don't know what's
It's
going
bad.
on.
Those oil executives are using it as an excuse. Those
Well, that's
jerks.
what I think. That's all it is. Like it's one of those because now they can use the COVID thing. Well, now I just think at the end of the day, the last 2 years they didn't make the profits that they wanted. So it's just kind of like, yeah, let's just slap everybody now because they're going to buy it regardless. You mean it's something you got no way around unless you want to walk or ride a bicycle everywhere. Like they're and it's causing everything else to go up, because now your transit's going to go up and plane rides are going to go up and this is going to go up. But hey, guess one thing that didn't go up? Our wages aren't going to go up, nor are they. They're going to keep that nice and low. So there you go. It's just nuts, man. It's just I don't buy this stuff for a second. You cannot tell me. It's just crap, man. It's crap. I mean, it's one thing to go up, but like it's literally gone up. How many cents per
Here
liter?
it's double and a half of what it used to be. I was paying like $2.10 for a gallon, and in 2 weeks I'm paying $5.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's the same in the States as here, but when it goes up, it always goes up in massive increments. But when it goes down, it takes months and it goes down really slowly. Goes down a couple pennies. So why is it going down? It's always super slow. But going up, it's just like, here you go. And it's guaranteed every time there's a long weekend, every time there's like anything going on, the gas always goes up. Like it's just like, come on, guys. Like people just, I don't know. It's a topic I could literally get. It's just driving me nuts. And not to mention energy prices are through the roof. Like our power bill was the highest it's been since we've been in the house. And we haven't changed anything on a day-to-day operation. I'm not using any more power. We don't do more laundry. We're not doing anything different, but yet the price is nailing it. And then you look at it per kilowatt for usage, cheap. But it's all these service charges. They nail it. Well, because more people are using the grid. So we got to charge you whatever the frig we want. You guys are going to take it. Bend over.
I want some grits.
You
You mean grid?
You want to know what one of my energy bill providers told me? When I asked them why it increased, and they go, cost of living increase. And I went, whose cost of living? They called it a cost of living increase.
Mm.
And in my head, I'm like, shouldn't that be like a cost of living decrease?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's getting ridiculous. Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, but like I said, that's a totally different podcast, totally different conversation. I'm sorry I took it there, but hey, at this point it went from being okay, it's pricey, to being like now it's stupid, right? Like everybody that walks into my store is talking about it. It's just like, because it's hurting people. It's like like I said, is it going to become now a legitimate excuse when people don't show up to work because they can't afford to put a tank of gas in their car? Because it's going to happen. Not everybody has disposable income and has $500 or $1,000 set aside in a month to drive to work. I mean, for me, I'm just down the road. But what are those people that got those half an hour drives? And up here, I don't know if it's in your neck of the woods, but up here in Alberta, God forbid you don't have a big old gas guzzling truck. Everybody got the biggest ass truck they can find. Probably get 3 kilometers a liter.
I will blame the scalpers for this one too.
Right. Damn, so,
that's right. People are going to start dealing in premium unleaded gas now. Go to your local corner.
I don't think that they're not going to try to work this and probably into some kind of video game prices somewhere too. So, they were just saying how the war in Ukraine now is affecting neon, which goes into making computer chips. So,
we live in an oil world. Everything we have, we're born into it. I mean, the plastic is an oil synthesized oil, essentially. You know, so everything that's around you that's made that is plastic is made from oil. Obviously, we only know how to form metal using oils. We only know how to harness using oil. We live in an oil world, so oil controls us by far. Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole minimum wage thing is, I don't buy that for a fact either. That's just another excuse to put up the prices, because no matter how much the minimum wage goes up or doesn't go up, because we've seen times where it basically didn't go up at all, they still keep putting up the price. Right? That's the bottom line. That's just an easy excuse to go, well, we're going to add another $1 onto this product and $1 here to, because minimum wage goes up. Like, give me a break. You guys will put it up even if it's $5 an hour. You guys will still charge more and more. I mean, look at McDonald's. I mean, you can't hardly even buy a friggin' meal. You certainly can't feed. Back in the day up here in Canada, you could feed a family on like $20 bill pretty much. Now $20 is lucky if you can even get a meal and a half out of that.
You get only one nugget.
Well, that's the other thing. And then the companies are not only gypping you by charging you more, but have you guys noticed portions are getting like stupidly small? You
not in Texas.
Like they're cutting everything out. It's like, man, I can remember when that ice cream used to be a lot bigger than that. Now it's like this little dinky thing. Oh, but the price hasn't gone up. No, if you don't put the prices up, you just take away everything else, right? Yeah, food prices are getting hit hard right now.
Yes, yeah, Happy Cloud Gamer, I agree with that one. My wife and I don't eat out a lot. We buy in the store, and yeah, food prices went up, significantly.
You're walking out of the store with 2 bags of groceries is like over $100. You're like, are you kidding me? Like $100 back when I was growing up, that'd be half a cart full of groceries.
Yeah, Jasmine is correct. Everything works as a monopoly.
Yeah, but then everybody's hurting, but then yet record profits. You constantly see that. Well, this company turned over another record $1 billion. This CEO gets another bonus of $10 million. You keep hearing that stuff too, but you never hear about companies willing to take a bit of a loss to make sure that their prices stay in check. No, it's never about that. It's always we take the loss, they take the gains. Again, the rich man keeping the poor down, gonna keep at it, man. It's just, one of these days everybody's gonna be in poverty at the rate we're going.
Well, you know what? This is why I buy Arizona iced tea. That thing has been 99 cents since I've been little. No matter what, they don't raise that price. 99 cents for a can of Arizona iced tea, baby.
There you go. Sorry, guys, I went off on an absolute tangent here, but hey, it's a great conversation, but it's definitely for a different style of podcast.
Yeah, so Dead Space, See, Dead Space isn't scary, but these gas prices, whew.
That's real world pain right there.
Terry pulls up to the gas station. She's like, ah!
Yeah, they should put Elden Ring advertisements at the gas pumps, and then they just put that big "you died."
Imagine everything. I know it's
some of lost all your runes, which is the currency in Elden Ring.
I know some of them they don't reach that point, but man, imagine if all gaming was $70 right now. You know how much people is gonna argue about that? From prices to the $70 jump. Ooh.
Yeah, well,
they're gonna go on strike.
When there's certain things you have options for, great. Like some of these services that we buy into, the prices go up, but that's the thing, you have the option, you can buy it or not. But gas and energy are one of those things that we don't have a choice. There isn't a lot of choices to it unless you want to completely change your lifestyle, which either means walk to work or and even if you're going to take transit, like transit costs have gone up. That's not necessarily super cheap now either, because those are going to go up, of course, right? So
well, I work in transit, so it's still considered the same amount,
right? You start paying $5 here and $5 here, or get your pass. It's
no, for us like one ride is $1, but if you wanted the whole day, it's only $3. So it never changed the increase or anything like that, so it's still the same.
No, they certainly went up here in
Texas.
Canada.
Everybody is allowed to own a horse and keep a horse where you live, right? As long as you have the means to keep it. I can totally now see some of my neighbors buying horses and having them in their backyards. I actually think that would be pretty cool.
So anyway, yeah, grocery bill is scarier than Dead Space. Absolutely right. You got to start counting your items when you put them in the cart now. It's like you got to take the calculator and add it all up. So,
yes.
But anyway.
Absolutely.
Anyhow, hey, if you want to save yourself some money in the long haul, guys, buy condoms and make sure you don't add to the population. Okay? There you go.
Those
Yeah,
are
it
made
costs
out
a
of
lot.
petroleum anyway, guys. So.
Yeah,
Oh, my
it
Lord,
costs a
yeah.
lot for it costs a lot for that type of energy, man.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, have a awesome show today. Fantastic chat. Pragmatic Eagle Lost Forever. Jago Kuka, what's up? Princess Zelda in the chat. How's it going? Jigga J, Mario 187. Lots of new people in the house today. Phantom Kraken, what's going on, brother? Happy Cloud Gamer, good to see you here as well. Lemon James, what's going on? Man, we got a great crew. Doggy Dog's been hanging out with us the whole time. Doggy, what's happening? But anyway, Abacab, good to see you here as well. So many great people here on this early morning, and I know it was a tough one because obviously the time went ahead. So I think a lot of people snoozing early today, but all good. Toolman, what's happening? Good to see you here again. Thanks as always. I guess before we get, well, I'll announce it, but let's get to the outros. We'll start with the man who went off camera, maybe because he had to do his hair. I don't know.
I'll tell you why. Because I'm like this because I have the chills.
You froze.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Mr. Blanket.
from the vaccine. So now it's like the chills again. So that's why I'm like this off air.
It's not a tumor.
Anyway, should I let people know where they can check out your content whenever and whatever you got coming down the pipeline?
Well, everybody, this is your compatriot Eternal Shaddai. I would like to thank you for tuning in this morning, even though we had that daylight savings. But everybody could find me at Twitter at Eternal Shaddai. Same thing for the Xbox One console, Eternal Shaddai. And also, I'll be streaming here and there. Probably later on, I'm gonna do Elden Ring. You know, I get punished, so I'm gonna, keep getting punished. So it's gonna be ETE Shaddai. Thank you for watching. Until next weekend, we have a surprise, and Noof will tell you later.
Absolutely. And don't forget, everybody's links and contact info are down in the description underneath the video. So please go check out these channels and their content if you haven't done so already. Getting over to the beanie lady herself, the one, Coolcat Terri, who's had 2 weeks in a row with the epic rant. Our Turtles conversation was definitely awesome today. Coolcat, let people know what's happening with you. Obviously, the background keeps improving each and every week, looking great. Love the Xbox lamps.
Got my Xbox stuff up now. Little
stuff.
Hopefully, I'll have that pile there gone once I get my bookcases. I haven't bought my bookcases yet, but it's coming step by step. But you guys can go ahead and you can find me over on here. Look me up on YouTube. I got my show over there, Just a Glimpse, as well. You can listen to it on Spotify and Apple and Google if you prefer audio. If you want to listen to it while you're commuting to work or whatever, you can check that out or watch the video version on YouTube. I also, you can catch me on Twitter at Coolcat_Terri, and you can, get, up to date with all of the indie games that I got my eyes on. So you definitely will get plenty of that in your feed. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone here could probably say that they got indie stuff in their feed now. You're welcome. Whether you like it or not, you got it. So enjoy it. Enjoy it, and then what was it? Oh yeah, Twitch. You can catch me on Twitch too, Coolcat Terri, and I'm there now Monday, Wednesday. Monday through Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm there from 6 to 10 Eastern, and I play whatever. And you get that We Want Leo out of here, Shaddai. You get that out of here. All right, Leo's the worst.
Blasphemy.
Anyways,
Blasphemy.
He's the worst, man. He's the worst.
He's the leader. Yeah,
he's the turtle.
He's the leader. The leader that can't lead. Yes. All right.
Getting
Thank you guys, and we'll catch you guys on next week.
You bet. See you back here next week. And getting up to our fearless leader himself. It's Axel 1324. I'm thinking if Axel was a turtle, he wouldn't be either. He would be Master Splinter. Axel, where can people find you?
Yeah, I'm Axel 1324. You can find me here on YouTube and on Xbox at Axel 1324. I am the host of the Iconic Video Games Podcast every Friday night at 8 p.m. with my co-host, with my panel members, Doggy Dog 420 and Princess Zelda. We play games with the chat, and we don't do any console warring. We just talk about the games. You can also find me. Did I say YouTube Axel 1324? YouTube Axel 1324 Gaming. There we go. Sorry. Yeah, you can also find me on Twitter and on Xbox Axel 1324. Remember, chat, you guys are the real MVP. I'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah, man, I can't believe you're over 20 odd episodes in already.
Yeah, we just recorded episode 22, I believe.
22.
So yeah, we're doing pretty good. We're having such a good time. It's so much fun to do.
I can tell
what we do.
I can tell it's been a lot of fun. Last couple of weeks, guys, have had some great shows about soundtracks with games. It's great because it really gets you thinking. Some that I even thought I knew. I was like, oh no, that's the wrong game. So it's really, really good stuff. Go check it out. As always, you guys know where to find me. Always in the gutter. Yes, when I'm not here hanging out with this amazing panel, you can find me on Tuesday nights, Gaming After Dark, 10 Eastern, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. This week on Gaming After Dark, I'm going to have a double dose of awesome guests this week. One was on the show a few months back, and he's going to be making his return. It is the Wise Old Gamer. He's going to be there. He's a fun guy. Hopefully you'll come check him out. I know he was nervous on his first podcast, but he's since had a few podcasts underneath his belt. I expect he'll be in fine form. We also have J-Rock coming out with us this week, so it's going to be a great show. And next week's podcast, you don't want to miss this one. I hope to see a great turn-in the chat, because next week's episode number 41 of Good Morning Xbox, we are going to have a special episode where we're going to be talking to Kalichi Apakama. He is a lead developer for a game called Stormwright, which I've already linked to earlier on Twitter. I think it was. I think I have, but if I haven't, I will. So it's going to be a great game. Looks awesome. It's coming to Xbox, I think, and PC later on in the year. It's like an indie game, but I mean, graphically and everything else, it looks like, man, like it does look impressive. Everybody on the panel seems to be fairly excited about it from my initial impressions, and I am too. And it's always great to hear the inside scoop from people that spend, all this time making these amazing games. And this looks like it could be one of those gems. Let's hope that it works out great, but we will find out more about it next week as we chat with him right here. And hopefully Cerebral Paul's back with us. Hopefully, Paul, you're doing okay, because he didn't even give me an indication he would not be here today, but we miss you, Paul. Hopefully we'll have you back for next week. Have the full panel. Scrub is gone as always. He'll be back next week. But anyway, until then, we will see you then. Again, follow everybody's links in the chat. And don't forget, guys, check everybody's content out. At least some of us here are part of the Gamers United Guild, and that's www.gamersunitedguild.com. Support and be supported. Shout out as well to the amazing graphic god who has done many of the graphic artworks that you see from our panel and other podcasts. And you can get that at www.xboxgamerpicks.com. Graphic god. There you go, guys. Again, thanks so much for all the love, support, the retweets, everybody showing up in the chat. Now we'll let you go get some gaming in, because the daylight is going, baby. So let's get her done. Catch you later. Have a great Sunday.
Everyone.
Have a great weekend.
Hi, everybody.